Indiana Jones. It's a podcast about Indiana Jones. Every movie, 1 minute at a time. Indiana Jones. Minutes.
Welcome back, everybody, and happy holidays, which for us this year means Happy Life Day.
Happy Life Day, everybody.
Aw, you guys are like family to me.
I'm gonna give you a little chuck under the chin there.
So let me start this by saying, as you may have guessed, we are going to be discussing the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Hooray!
Since it's the holidays and everyone's feeling festive, at least until they listen to this. But I will say in advance, we are going to walk through the whole special somehow. So if you haven't watched it and you do not want spoilers, if they might exist, you may want to watch it before listening, or you may not want to watch it before listening.
And I pray that you're not looking at your podcatcher and this is like 4 hours long.
Yeah,
really,
I do too.
Really, nobody deserves that. We don't deserve that, but we'll see what happens.
But there are a couple of good options for watching. You can watch it on YouTube and make sure you watch the one with commercials, or perhaps a smarter option is you can actually just watch the commercials. There's a whole
now you tell
YouTube
me.
thing that's just the commercials from this. But we'll talk about both because I think the commercials are a big part of the charm.
Oh, definitely. They're the good part.
Yeah. But what's your experience with this? Do you guys remember when you saw it the first time?
I only kind of remember. I have like only 1 or 2 actual memories of seeing this.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember the phrase from the very beginning, and R2D2 as R2D2. That is in my head as like a clear memory of like, oh, I see what they did because he's a robot.
Yeah.
Like even then, I think I knew there was a guy in there, but I was like, okay, R2D2 is R2D2. Okay.
Why didn't they have Kenny Baker?
I don't know.
No, he's barely in it. I mean, R2's barely in it.
Yeah.
Like they might not need a Kenny Baker to go back and forth and stuff.
Now, my experience with this, Tom, do you remember this?
What?
Do you remember my experience? You popped my holiday special cherry.
Aw,
you
what a for?
Yes. You kept telling me oh my gosh, I have the Star Wars Holiday Special, and I got it on tape. Like, and it was the sort of thing I was like, what is he talking about? I don't really know what he's talking about, but he's like it was a really big deal.
Yeah,
you must have gotten it. It was because it was like a bootleg thing, and you must have gotten it from one of your, rich Connecticut friends.
Yeah, my connection.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I have about 3 copies of this. I didn't even watch them. I watched it on YouTube like you guys, but I have I think I got one at like a Star Trek convention in the 90s or something. And my friend Jay Harrell gave me a DVD copy. Oh, and my friend Mark Heidemann gave me another DVD copy. So I'm all set.
Wow. This was
I'm loaded up.
I think I watched it maybe with a VHS. It was a big deal, and I was at your house. Yeah. We must have been
30.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe like 24 or 25. Yeah, and you put it on, and you kept telling me it's nuts. You've got to see it. It's got this whole thing with B. Arthur, and it's crazy. It's one of the craziest things. And you're like, some of it's kind of goofy, but you got to check it out. It's really insane. And I remember watching it in your family room, and I kind of felt a little sick.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know why we were celebrating this moment. It was a big deal because it was this, there's a cult like following, and it was this gem of a piece to get, to acquire.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I didn't really understand it. And I if I remember, I think we just watched maybe 15 or 20 minutes of it, and it didn't really, it didn't resonate with me.
It didn't draw you in. It didn't.
No.
That's really
I think we were maybe supposed to watch the whole thing, and you kind of gave up like in a flaccid
Yeah.
sort of, oh, well, we don't have to if you don't want to. And then we wound up, watching parts of it, and then we turned it
Yeah.
off and we did something fun.
It's hard to watch. I mean,
Yeah.
it's no surprise to
Yeah.
anybody. I'm not breaking any weird barriers. It's hard to watch.
No, I
Like,
think
like-
if something can be said to be objectively bad,
Yeah.
I think this is. But I still love it anyway. In a really
See, that's the
weird way.
thing. I'm always defending it against my son. My son's like, I made him watch it one year, like maybe 4 years ago, and he's never forgiven me. And he's like, it's so bad. He'll just bring it up every once in a while. It's so bad. It's so stupid. Why do you like it? I'm like, I don't like it. I know it's bad, but it's great. It's a
Yeah.
cool thing. You know, you don't get it, Sam. You weren't a kid then, and some of that is true. But then watching it for this. Like it took, we were like texting each other back and forth, like day 3, trying to watch this thing. I might make it. I don't know. Drinking my own urine. I'm going to be okay. It's
But see-
really hard. And it's
It
like,
is.
and I
It's
told
really
Sam the other day,
hard.
and I'm like, Sam, I hate it. You're right. It's awful. It's just awful. I'm like, I'm glad it exists. And I feel like I should defend it, but it's so awful.
Well, so one of the things that I was reading up on it a little bit, and they said like, well, yeah, it's notoriously terrible, la la la. But they said, but it does hold a special place in people's nostalgia heart.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
like, I didn't feel that because I didn't see this in 1978 or
okay.
whatever.
Well, see, I
But-
did.
The
Yeah.
commercials, yes, but
Yeah.
Right.
it's really, really brutal. And also
isn't-
it took me 3 days to watch this as well.
Yeah.
And what I came away with was, God, TV sucked.
That's the thing.
When
That's what I
we
keep
were
wondering, like,
younger, yeah. When
Yeah.
we were younger, and all the stuff we grew up the 70s, the 80s, to stuff like TV, television sucked.
that is not totally true. There's a lot of holes in your argument,
Yeah, I
but
agree.
I kept thinking as I was watching this, like, okay, this was a kind of TV that was on that people
Yeah.
fully accepted and
Yes.
embraced.
Yeah.
Like, how is this show that we're watching different from like Donnie and Marie or like a
Right.
Bob
Yeah,
Hope
it's
special?
not,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
But for
No,
me, it
it's
was
not.
a completely different thing. Like when I saw it when I was a kid, and I remember my parents like let me stay up to watch it because it was on kind of late. Like, I think it was like 8 to 10, and I was a tiny kid. And I had weird memories of it growing up, but I always sort of thought I was imagining them because I didn't know that it existed anymore. Like I'd forgotten that there was such a thing. And when I heard
Oh,
about
wow.
it in the 90s, and I was like, wait a minute.
Mhm.
Because I a couple things just I remember, like I remember the tree house and I remember Lumpy's room.
Yeah.
And then when I ordered a bootleg copy off of eBay, like a VHS copy,
Oh, nice.
and I watched it and I was like, wow, it's like sometimes you think you're imagining things, but it really happened.
Right. I
But
guess
this,
that
to me,
happened.
this is really a fever dream. Like this, not like the
Yeah.
kind of funny fever dream like we talk about on Indiana Jones as Han Solo, but
Yeah.
like a real one where you get a really high fever and start hallucinating, and because it's like all your friends are there, but they're
Right.
doing weird things, like like
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
singing and they're
my
crappy
God.
acrobats, and it's just weird. But I
Yeah.
think one thing I enjoy about it is if you look at it like it's like Ionesco or it's some kind of weird surrealism or absurdism,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of amazing because everything about it is completely surreal.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I mean, there are moments where it is trying to be surreal, or like it can't defend itself against being surreal. Like, like you
Mhm.
mentioned, like the weird little like circus video thing that happens or whatever. But then there's like all these like stretches of like Art Carney sort of like doing his thing and stuff that would have like killed them in Poughkeepsie or something 70
Yeah.
years earlier.
Yeah.
But you're like, and he's like selling it. He's like totally on board.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm
Yeah.
Art Carney. I'm going to do my thing. And you're like, bless his heart, but is this working at all? And is anybody like sitting in their living room in 78 going like, oh, that Art Carney's got it. Oh, Harvey Korman, you tell him. That's great.
I think I had just such an allergic reaction to this variety show.
Yeah.
Just and I wondered if, so growing up, in the 70s and the 80s, it's like, was this what was considered like an extension of or modern day vaudeville?
Kind of. I
Yeah,
think so.
but
Like,
this
I mean,
was-
in
this
in
was
the
not a good
commercials, there are
example
like
of it.
two other
Yeah. Yeah.
variety shows advertised, like a Lucille Ball one, like a Bobby
Yeah.
Vinton one or
But
something.
those are I bet those are watchable.
Those are like, at least, I mean, we would think they were cheesy and we'd grown at
Yeah.
them and stuff,
Yeah,
but they're like, people, like we wouldn't
Yeah.
probably be into Eric Estrada doing like Grease numbers and stuff,
Yeah.
but we'd be, be like, okay, these people, this is what they do. They're like
Yeah.
song and dance people, and they're plying their trade, and they're, whatever. They know what they're doing.
People want to see a show, and it's a show.
If I'm watching Hee Haw, like I know what I've signed up for.
Right.
That's what it is. Like Hee Haw is sort of a variety comedy show, or Grease or something like, all right. So that, and you're like, there's a certain level of acceptance or even like self-flagellation with that. But in this case, it's like it's Star Wars, but it's Hee Haw.
Right.
Well, that's
or Donnie and Marie Haw. I don't know what.
That's a good segue into how this came about then. Because George Lucas had this idea. He wanted to keep Star Wars fresh in people's minds, because it was so huge. And Empire Strikes Back, they were going to start working on soon. And he wanted to keep it fresh. And mainly, he wanted to sell merchandise. And so he had this idea to do this. And none of the actors from the movie wanted to do it. But they all felt sort of obligated. And so, somehow this got made, and this was his vision, but then he quit partway through it.
Did he quit?
I don't know if he quit, but he left the production and was unavailable. And then he disavowed it completely later. But so when this first aired, viewer numbers for the first hour weren't that bad. It lost to The Love Boat, but it came in second. I think 13 million households watched it.
Love
But
Boat
by
was a
the second
juggernaut.
hour,
We can't blame anybody for that.
yeah. But by the second hour, almost all of those people had turned it off.
Weird.
And the people were just confused because people literally thought this was going to be the next Star Wars movie. Like that's what people were expecting. Wow. And they turn it on, and the first 25 minutes is just Wookiees going, "Rrr, rrr."
Yeah.
And nobody knew. And even the actors, like B. Arthur, didn't know what this was about. And she just played her character for Maude. Like she has a quote. She said, let me see if I can find it here. I didn't know what this was all about. I was asked to be in it by the composer of that song I sing, Good Night, But Not Goodbye. It was a wonderful time, but I had no idea it was even part of the whole Star Wars thing. I just remember singing to a bunch of people with funny heads.
Oh my God. That's basically what happens.
That's basically what it is.
Scene.
Yeah. And Carrie Fisher only agreed to be in it because she negotiated that she would get to sing a song, perhaps.
Oh, that's even weirder.
Yeah. Even weirder than that is Mark Hamill originally had a song that he negotiated out of. He said he did not want to sing a song.
Wow.
Like, I think his quote is, I thought this was a mistake from the beginning. It was just unlike anything else in the Star Wars universe. And I initially said I didn't want to do it, but George said it would help keep Star Wars in the consciousness, and I wanted to be a team player, so I did it. Yeah. I also said I didn't think Luke should sing, so they cut that number.
That's awesome.
So thank you,
Mr. Hamill.
Yeah, just to be clear, this is 18 months after Star Wars was released?
Yeah.
Yeah. November of 78. Yeah.
And Star Wars is probably still in theaters too.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That it's that far off the mark.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Right.
It's amazing.
Like even Mark Hamill refers to like it not being part of the Star Wars universe, and like all that is one movie so far. But even he knew they're like, this doesn't feel right.
Although technically, here's the weirdest thing. It is part of the Star Wars universe. It's officially canon.
Mm-hmm.
So there are a lot of things we learn in this that we'll get to when we walk through it that answer some of the questions we've been asking on our Patreon shows talking about Star Wars.
Oh boy.
Does this fall
on its face?
Yes. No. Does this fall on its face in the canon argument?
You mean that canon has no validity because this is canon?
Which, well, yeah, I suppose. I mean, what's difficult is if this comes 18 months after Star Wars, or give or take. It's like it's as close as anything ever is to Star Wars.
And it was George
it's-
Lucas
yes,
and the entire cast of Star Wars.
and there's like, I don't know, maybe 25 shots from Star Wars.
Yeah, the first time those were on TV.
Wow.
That's what I remember.
Which is cool enough if you're a kid. You're like, all right.
Yeah.
See some Star Wars in my
yeah,
house.
for sure.
Yeah. Although it had weird sound effects, like the Millennium Falcon sounds like thunder striking. Like the engine, it's everything's weird.
Yeah.
It's also tough. It all kind of gets dragged through. Like, seeing it's amazing, but oh my god, the Star
I'm just
Wars,
happy it exists. It's such a weird, surreal thing.
It really is.
I mean, and as we describe it, if you haven't seen it, it's just going to sound weird, and it gets weirder and weirder as it goes.
It gets
along.
weirder and weirder until it's. This is the feeling I had. Like, have you ever been in a place and all of a sudden you're struck by, a thought lightning bolt, and it's I have to get the hell out of here.
Right.
Like, in a real sense. I was once in Ephesus, Turkey, and I was hit by that, but I was in the back of a police car, of a Turkish police car. And it dawned on me, I was alone, and all the doors were still open, like unlocked. And I was like, I've got to get the hell out of here. And I raced out of the car and ran away from the scene.
There you go.
That's how this felt.
It's also like, if you're a kid, like, have you ever had that experience where you go up to somebody who you think is your mom and it's not your mom? And you're freaked out?
That's exactly like it is.
Oh, look, it's Han. That's not Han Solo.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I don't feel good.
Yeah.
Something's not right, and I can't process it because I'm a kid. I shouldn't actually say that about Han Solo. He comes out. This is debatable. We'll get there. He comes out. Some characters come out better than others.
Yeah.
Mark Hamill is super weird and disturbing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's one other one who I really, really dislike, and we'll get there.
Okay.
Well, why don't you?
Let's walk through.
Praise you for making some kind of map out of this.
Okay.
Please lead us through this, and maybe it'll make sense. Let's all hold hands and not lose our way. No splitting up. We're gonna get through this together.
So it begins in media res. There's no, Star Wars holiday special. It just starts with Han Solo and Chewbacca in the Falcon, and they're being fired on by two really tiny looking Star Destroyers.
Yeah.
And we find out that Han is trying to get Chewie back for Life Day.
He's a good friend.
Yep. And they seem to be in some danger.
Yeah. That's cool. Right off the bat, you get a very familiar image of Han and Chewie in the Falcon, and some actual footage from Star Wars, those Star Destroyers coming at him and stuff. Should be okay, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually,
Right.
I will say it starts anemic, but it's not, full blown scourge.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I might say that some of these opening shots in the Millennium Falcon are my favorite parts.
Yeah.
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 Although it is weird seeing the Millennium Falcon with TV lighting.
That is weird.
That's true.
Yeah.
It looks
say about the
almost
whole
like a
thing,
soap
yeah.
opera. Which is it's just odd. But they escape. Well, first they talk about how they're trying to get Chewie home for Life Day, which is the big Wookiee holiday on the planet of Kazook. And
Right.
and just as they're about to be destroyed by the Star Destroyers, they jump to light speed, and we get on the screen a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, and then the music kicks in.
Yeah.
And as a kid, this was just like, oh my God, this is Star Wars. And
In your house.
from that, in your house on a little black and white TV. But from that point, it all kind of goes off the rails. And we get, we get the music. There's no crawl. It starts off saying you get a title card that says the Star Wars Holiday Special, and then you get the announcer, who starts announcing the people that are in it. And you get Luke Skywalker, and he turns to face the camera, and he's wearing his flight uniform. This is kind of like a Simpsons episode, is that everybody's wearing the same outfit that they always wear.
Right.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
Carrie Fisher has the hair buns and the white dress, and Mark Hamill's wearing his flight suit, and
Yeah.
they just wear those all the time. But
And you see the way you see their faces, it almost is like the Love Boat or something.
it is,
Like,
yeah,
so you-
totally.
yeah.
Featuring, you know,
Yeah, and
so
Han
they've-
Solo actually like does a Norman Fell like mug to the camera, which is awesome.
there's
Oh my
that
God.
how would you describe that voice? Because you just did it so well. Featuring, it's just
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, the Star Wars Holiday Special. Like
It's
that
just-
kind of guy. Like
it's-
it's like you're excited to be here, and this is
It's
what
a
you
guy
came for,
smiling
and you
kinda
know what
guy.
you get.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
it's almost like the the guy who introduces the Gong Show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably the
Yeah.
same guy. Yeah. Come on down.
Oh, Chuck Barris is a legend. Don't disparage.
No,
Chuck
Chuck,
Barris.
look, Chuck Barris is one thing. He was always kind of like he was. How is it me or was he just stupidly loaded and drunk on those shows?
He was.
That's the idea. Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think the magic of that show is that when it originally started running, the guy that was originally the host took it seriously, like it was a serious show, like a competition. And then Chuck Barris came in and made it like it was an ironic competition where he was just lit the whole time, and it was
he
it was
just.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like what you
Yeah.
did on there. Come on, everybody, we got the next thing happening.
But the first weird thing is Luke turns to face the camera, and it's not Luke.
I know.
Like,
It's
it's
like
who's this
Dorothy
guy?
Hamill or something.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I thought it looks like Nick Gilder. Do you know who I'm talking about? Tommy?
That name sounds really familiar.
Hot child in the
Oh.
city.
So we're between Nick Gilder and like older Cindy from the Brady Bunch.
Yeah. What? So somebody, what is that?
I don't
What
so
happened?
He had right before they released Star Wars. He got into a really bad car accident. He was driving his BMW in Malibu,
Right.
and he was listening to the Tchaikovsky's 1812 overture, and flipped his
Oh.
car, and his face was so badly like messed up they had to reconstruct his nose like with cartilage from his ear. And so I think they had done some extensive remodeling of his face between this and when they filmed Star Wars.
Okay. Now I knew that had happened because he looks different in Empire.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he doesn't look like
yeah.
Empire Luke or Star Wars.
No,
Luke
Right.
in
this is like a transition phase, and he's wearing like
Yeah.
lipstick and
yeah,
weird
lots of
eye makeup.
eyeliner. And,
yeah.
What
yeah.
is this? So how would you describe his head?
Unfortunate or like disconcerting?
Or is
I
it?
don't know, he's
I
got
mean,
that-
I don't
he's
mean
got like
it's
this
his
kind of
hair.
bob haircut.
There's something.
Yeah,
with,
his
I think
hair's
it's-
really short.
I'm not
and-
knocking the guy. That's terrible. He got in an accident, of course, and it's incredible that he, did as well as he did. If you're driving your BMW in Malibu and getting in an accident with the 1812 overture going on, but I think it's like his hair is
His
kind of
hair is
what's odd.
bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. That's the
Everything
thing. If you're expecting to see Luke Skywalker, like he of the original cast is the one who's like, I don't know what this isn't what I'm expecting. This isn't
Yeah.
something's off.
Yeah.
Like everybody, no matter how they act, they look like Leia and Han and Chewie
Yeah.
and everybody.
I think this is a good idea of how this was made to sell toys. Like he gets top billing, and he was the one kids loved. Like he
Yeah.
No,
was-
sure.
He's your hero.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And then we get Han Solo, and he does this little mug to the camera, and then we get a very stoned looking Carrie Fisher.
Stoned looking.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I suspect it was not looking. And then a very dull, matte looking C-3PO,
Yeah.
which is weird.
Yeah.
And we Peter Mayhew is Chewbacca, which I'm glad it's actually Peter Mayhew.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, they did a great job with the costumes for him and his family. But one thing we'll get to later is they ran out of money. I think they filmed most of it sequentially, and they ran out of money towards the end. And all the other Wookiees you see later are wearing Don Post off the shelf Wookiee costumes because
That
they
figures.
couldn't afford to make any.
Yeah.
Jeez.
That's poetic.
Yeah. And then Tom, the line you remember, R2D2
Oh, yeah.
is R2D2.
Cute. And he
Yeah,
says it with like a slight pause, like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
get it?
yeah.
He's a robot. There's nobody in there.
But nobody knows what happened to maybe Kenny Baker's the only one who avoided the scourge.
He had the best
Yeah.
agent.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
doing it. I don't care.
Yeah.
yeah.
Kenny goddamn Baker, forget it. That's what he sounds like.
And then we get some footage from Star Wars of Darth Vader, and we get
Yeah.
James Earl Jones as the voice of Darth Vader.
Mhm.
And did he do the robot in the cartoon? Did he do Darth Vader in the cartoon, or is that somebody else?
He did. And you know what's really interesting? In the cartoon, he sounds just like Star Wars Darth Vader. But in the one scene that he's in this, and like live action that he's talking over, he sounds just like Empire Darth Vader to me.
Mm.
It's interesting.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Vader
God.
nerds will know what I'm talking about.
If you were expecting the next Star Wars movie,
Mm-hmm.
it's like getting pushed down a spiral staircase.
You know what they should have done? This is just hitting
Never
me as we're
ending.
talking about it. Like in the whole world of like variety shows and everything, the only one that kids actually like and that's actually legit and that holds up in adulthood is the Muppet Show.
Yeah.
Why didn't they just do a Muppet Show kind of thing with
Yeah.
the Star Wars characters?
Yeah. Yeah.
And they could have had all the same bits, all the Harvey Korman, all the Art Carney and everything, but like
Yeah.
hosted by Kermit in space or something.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That would have been pretty sweet. And they did, Luke and C-3PO showed up on it like around the time of Empire and stuff. And that was charming and fantastic. They could have just done something like that.
Yeah.
But they're like, it's so sincere, the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so,
It's
it
so
is.
weird.
It is.
Well, the interesting thing is it starts to, as you said, Pete, it was a big deal. They had just done a deal with Kenner, right? To make toys. So
Yeah.
the whole they just wanted to. It was just greedy avarice.
Mhm. And George Lucas had an idea. So there's a cartoon that comes up in the middle of this, which is probably the best part.
Oh, yeah.
Of the-
by
of the
far.
I
show.
don't know.
I know. Jared doesn't like it, but it's good.
But George Lucas also wanted to have a regular Saturday morning Star Wars cartoon.
Oh, wow.
And I think that might have actually worked but
yeah.
George Lucas always wanted to do things at this point, like everything had to be like an indie, like artist kind of, local producer, not a big corporation that's going to be making the cartoons. So he hired this little company in Canada,
Mm-hmm.
and the look was just, I don't think anything that American kids were really expecting.
Right. I think that's why I like it, because it's just weird.
Me too. Yeah.
It's like, it's like being able to accept like the Clone Wars TV show, but not some of the movies or something. Like, it's just like,
Yeah.
okay, it's a weird thing. It's like, doesn't
Yeah.
look exactly like Star Wars, even though it's totally Star Wars. And I could just accept it. Like, this cartoon is just weird.
And it's
It's
our first
really
introduction to Boba Fett.
Yeah.
No, it's our first introduction to Boba Fett Man.
Now you're
what's
getting
so
ahead
weird.
of yourself. I think the man part might be in question, but we'll get there at the
Well,
cartoon.
okay.
Oh, boy.
It's just
All right.
it's like a suit. He's wearing like underoos.
Hey, he totally
Boba Fett
is.
underoos.
Yeah, it's Bobaroos.
Yeah.
But yeah, so after we get all of our friends from Star Wars announced, then it starts to get weird. So they introduced Chewbacca's
gets
family,
Oh,
his wife Mala, his father
Oh.
Itchy, and his son Lumpy.
wait, now but
Itchy
this-
is just disturbing.
Yeah,
yeah. Oh,
It's
my-
like
all
if-
three
if-
of them are.
In
Yeah,
any
oh,
other
yeah.
any other movie, he would be like a creature, like we found the creature that we're all being terrorized by, and it's Itchy.
Mhm.
Like, he's just scary looking. He's creepy and scary looking.
Yeah, yeah.
and so
He's
is
got that
he
underbite.
is he Mala's father?
I
think he's
assumed he was
Chewie's father.
Chewbacca's father,
Yeah.
Okay.
but I don't know. I
The
don't know if
whole
it's ever-
thing. First of all, one sentence I never want to hear is introducing Chewbacca's family.
Yeah. Why are you doing that? Don't do
Yeah,
that.
why do- yeah, I don't wanna meet them.
Chewbacca's family.
Are they here?
Oh no.
Yeah.
Tell them
Yeah.
I'm not here.
And is Lumpy a common name on Kazook?
See, that's what's so
God.
weird. You have Chewbacca, which,
Mhm.
like, I don't know, the only closest English word would be tobacco,
Yeah.
something like. And then you have Lumpy and Itchy,
Yeah.
like both.
Stinky and droopy.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
sneezy and
Yeah.
hairy and
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Mala at least gets a name.
Yeah,
an
I'm
actual
glad she
name.
got a name. She may be the most mistreated person in any of the Star Wars movies.
Yeah, I don't feel bad for her.
I don't.
But then it gets even weirder when we start to introduce all the special guest stars.
Yeah,
We get B.
Yeah.
Arthur, we get Art Carney, we get Diane Carroll, we
Mhm.
get Jefferson Starship,
Okay,
and we get Harvey
hold up.
Korman.
Maybe.
Yeah, I want to know right now. Name a song that Jefferson Starship sings. Tommy?
Wait, ever as a band?
No,
or
ever
this
as a
thing?
band. Just if I came up to you on the street and
Oh,
I go,
Jane. Late period Starship, Jefferson Starship.
wait a
they had
minute,
that
wait a
song,
minute.
Jane.
Is Jane Starship or Airplane?
No, it is Jefferson Starship.
Jane.
It's before
Okay,
Starship.
great
but-
song.
Yeah. Yeah.
That Aldo Nova ripped off. Life is just a fantasy. Can't you
Yeah.
live the fantasy life? They just totally. I don't know how that wasn't a lawsuit.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm sorry.
how about we built this city?
Okay, but that's Starship. But see, that's the thing. Like this, I don't recognize any of the people in this. Again, we're
Yeah.
getting ahead of ourselves. Pete
Okay,
hates us.
okay.
But yeah, we'll get there. But yeah, it's very strange.
But yeah, and most of these people are like Carol Burnett caliber, like kind of
I
later
mean, literally,
in their
Harvey
career.
Korman is
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
staple of that show.
And you know,
Yeah.
Art Carney was, you know, he was Ed Norton from the Honeymooners, which is how I
Mhm.
will always think of him. But
Yeah.
Diane Carroll was kind of, I mean, she's a legit, you know, actress and singer, and I mean, these people all are, but she seems like she and B. Arthur are the two that seem like they were most at the top of their game at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I bet Harvey Korman was, I like Carol Burnett show. Was
Yeah,
going
you're right.
strong.
Actually, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Actually,
But they were probably bigger names than he was. Maybe.
yeah. Although was Blazing Saddles around this time, or was that earlier?
That was earlier. Wasn't that more like 73 or 4 or something?
Maybe.
Yeah. We're getting yelled at.
Yeah, then he introduces the animated special that's coming up, and then we cut to Kazook.
Yeah. Suburban Kazook.
Yeah, and I have to
Yeah.
say this house I love. I would live.
Wait,
in
is
this
that
house.
That's
how
awesome.
it's? Wait, how is it pronounced?
it's, it's Kashyyyk. And
Right.
for some reason, the one time you hear it in this, the guy says Kazook.
Kazook?
Are you
Yeah.
serious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No,
Wasn't our choice.
the house is beautiful, and it is interesting that
Mhm.
this is. You look at it and you go, "Oh, it looks like the Green Moon of Endor."
Yeah, it
Which,
does,
if this
yeah.
is 78, you're like,
Yeah.
wow. So there's a lot of things that were kind of floating around in the, conscious there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
There
part-
was
part
one
of-
thing. There was one major problem with this house, though, is that if you are a family of like furry, shaggy creatures, why in the name of God would you have carpeting in your house? Like everything is covered in carpeting.
Oh man, I didn't
Like
think
it
about that.
stinks in here, and I'm not
Yeah.
even there.
Well, you got itchy and lumpy. Yeah. I mean, it,
Yeah,
it, it stinks.
Did it just get itchy and lumpy in here?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like their
Well, one of the
cousin
problems-
Burpee comes over.
Wipey,
Yeah.
and sticky.
Oh, wipey.
That's why people used to have like the plastic covers on their furniture, like in
Yeah.
a nice room.
Yeah.
Totally. Oh. Cousin Wipey. Oh my God. Well,
See,
Pete,
one of the issues here though is that this gorgeous house, they spent almost all of the money on this set. And
Oh, it shows.
it weirdly
yeah.
didn't even have a fourth wall. Like it was for like a fourth wall for the camera and for lighting.
Mhm.
It was a full wraparound 360-degree set. And so they had to spend a lot of extra money to get the lighting in and the camera, find places for the cameras and stuff. So they spent a huge part of their budget on this.
I'm not
Man.
surprised because that house is gorgeous. I mean, Pete, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's a bit of a like Taliesin or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is. It's like
Yeah.
Frank
Totally.
Lloyd Wright meets the Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
Meets
Yeah.
like
The
Ewoks.
the Keebler elves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, it's amazing. It's like it's round.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like a circular shape.
I wonder where that was. It is. It's gorgeous. And
Yeah.
the colors are really interesting and bold.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody went. I wonder if their house would be considered bold.
Like
yeah,
are all the houses around there like that? Or
Yeah,
is
this like track housing for
the
them?
Chewbacca's are doing pretty well for themselves.
It's just like cul-de-sacs.
Yeah.
Right.
I wondered about that. Like, does Chewie have a nice house? Like, is he?
I was wondering that too. Is he rich?
Yeah.
They seem pretty comfortable. I mean,
Yeah.
they got like crazy video monitors, and she's got all the kitchen stuff and everything. And
Yeah.
He has like a big stuffed bantha.
Mind evaporators. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big stuffed bantha. Yeah. He's got his own room.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I wonder where like Mala and Itchy and Chewie sleep, because when they search the house,
I don't want to know.
They only search the living room and Lumpy's room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's disturbing.
Yeah.
Chewie just sleeps on the couch. Mala doesn't sleep. She's too busy.
Yeah, she's working the whole time.
Can't even get any help with the trash. It takes 3 minutes of the opening of this show for Lumpy to take out the trash.
Yeah.
There's like 3 minutes of Wookiees barking at each other to get out the trash.
So that
go ahead. Jer.
Well,
the first whole 20 minutes of this is I'd love to hear Sean German's take on this with his 5 minutes of mime podcast, because it's like the first 20 minutes is just these three Wookiees making Wookiee noises that are unintelligible to anybody and miming actions that are not really that funny or entertaining.
No. Yeah. I mean, it's literally like, do your chores. No, I don't want to do my chores. No, just do it. I need help in the kitchen. Take out the trash. I don't want to. I'm a bratty kid.
Yeah.
And leave me alone, kid. I'm playing with my X-Wing fighter. Don't sneak up on me. It's like you left a camera on in somebody's house and they're just kind of going about their boring business.
Yeah.
And you have to watch it.
And you have to watch
sound.
it, and you can't. It's unintelligible. Or,
and you're waiting for something cool in Star Wars to happen, but it's not happening.
Yeah.
You're
So,
like,
so I'm wondering, what is the artistic thought behind this?
This was all George Lucas too, because the people making this didn't, like they said, this isn't going to work, and it did. I mean, obviously it didn't work. And everybody turned it off after they saw this part. But George Lucas said this was what he wanted to make.
So is it like I'm going to draw them in? They're expecting to hear English.
I think so. Yeah.
But I'm not going to give the people what they want.
Yeah. There were a couple of times in the version I was watching, there's a couple of times where it's like, oh, finally there's some subtitles, and it's like, oh, it just says like WHIO channel 7 Dayton. They can't all be just saying that over and over again at weird intervals. Oh well.
It's just you're expecting there to be a big payoff.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, our first thing that seems like it might be a payoff is Lumpy turns on this computer console, which is sort of like the holo chess game on the Millennium Falcon.
Mm-hmm.
But it's some acrobats, like some I'm not sure how to describe these guys.
Yeah, I don't know. They're dressed up funny.
Yeah.
And they do weird stuff. I'll be honest, I fast forwarded. This was the first time I fast forwarded a little bit.
Wow.
What am I going to miss? What am I actually going to miss if I fast forward a little bit?
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. I actually sat through this one.
Oh my God.
And after I did that, there's a lot of other things I fast forwarded through.
You're right.
Yeah.
Fool me once, shame on me.
Yeah. So
but is Chewbacca a lousy dad? Like, it seems like he's never home. Like, Mala's the bad guy always. Like, her kid's just constantly complaining and doesn't want to do stuff, and she's always yelling at him. And then Chewie comes home and he's like, oh, presents. He's the great guy.
Yeah. Yeah, he's that dad. Yeah,
he's like off having fun with his friend. And
yeah, I got you this at the airport. You're a good kid. Give me a drink.
Yeah, and the kid worships him.
Yeah.
You know what I can't figure out is if Chewbacca is doing so well, he seems to be, comfortable. Why doesn't he just loan Han Solo the money to get the bounty off of his head?
Mm-hmm.
He's the co-pilot of the Millennium Falcon and his best friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like, why doesn't he just, because he says in Star Wars, 17,000, this could really save my, and you're like, okay, well, why doesn't he just loan the money?
Well, this is the first time Han's ever been to his house, and then she's kind of like, what the hell is going on, Wookiee?
But I wonder if, maybe Chewie is actually smuggling. Yeah. And he's like, like he's stealing.
I thought we dumped that load of spice. Do you mean to tell me that you just pocketed it and sold it to somebody?
He's actually pirating from the pirate. I like that.
Yeah.
Oh man, hopefully Art Carney took it.
What the hell? They talk to a traitor? I'm supposed to believe that there's a guy who's a traitor, and that's who Mala calls?
Yeah.
Well, we'll get there. Before we get to the traitor, we get and that's Trader, because they keep saying it in the show and it sounds like traitor, but
Right.
Right.
But he's a
it's
friend of
like
the
a
Alliance.
trades things. But before we get that, we get Mala goes over to, they have a hidden communication like TV thing. Like basically this whole special is Zoom calls. It's kind of 2020.
Right. Yeah.
But they pull up the screen and they call Luke.
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird.
But they get Dorothy Hamill instead of Mark.
Yeah. And Nick killed her.
How does Luke know him? Like, how does Luke know Chewbacca's? How do they all know Chewbacca's family?
I guess maybe you get the sense that they have all met since Star Wars. Like,
Yeah,
this could
like
be like
you feel
2
like they've all been
years after
hanging
Star
out.
Wars
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they all know as soon as she gets on the screen, they're all like, "Oh, hi, Mala. Can you send Chewie to the screen?"
Hey, Itchy. Hey, Lumpy. Yeah.
Or maybe they came to the medal ceremony
I thought about
where
that.
Chewie didn't get the medal.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe they came to.
That's
yeah,
amazing.
I thought about that.
Yeah, I don't
like
know.
3 seats reserved for them, way in the back.
Yeah, and then Mala explains that there's a problem because Han and Chewie haven't shown up for Life Day, and Luke is there with R2 fixing an engine, and he is a terrible comforter.
Yeah.
Like, you see him thinking, and he's talking out loud. He's like, "Oh boy, well, I could tell you is that he and Han left here on schedule. If he's not there now, they're way overdue. There must have been trouble."
But it's cool.
Yeah,
Don't
Give
worry.
me a smile.
Oh, that's so creepy. As he
Yeah.
like he tells her to smile.
Yeah. Don't patronize me, Luke.
You know, I know all of them are really, really strange. It's like
Yeah.
the Wookiees are like the family dog.
No, they totally are.
Yeah.
Right. It's a
Like they all
family of
talk
family
down to them,
dogs.
like completely talk down to them.
Or they're just
Yeah.
they're patronizing. It's
Yeah, and later,
it's-
like Leia will refer to Chewbacca as her leader. Like it's weird.
oh, it's true.
That really is weird. I don't get it. It is weird that the plot of this show is like, let's kill time until Chewbacca gets home.
Yeah,
Like that's the excuse for like everything that
Yeah.
happens.
yeah.
Ugh.
But then we cut to or we go to Luke hangs up after R2 like blows up the engine he's working on.
Yeah, he keeps blaming R2. He's like, you're supposed to
Yeah.
be watching that. And it's like, he was watching that. He was he's
He's
you
trying
know
to-
about it because he alerted you.
Yeah, he keeps trying to tell Luke that the engine's about to explode, and Luke keeps
Yeah.
shooing him. And then at the end, he's like, "It's all right, R2. Nobody's perfect."
Thanks.
But that thought I wondered about that. I'm
You
like,
yelled at me.
aren't droids perfect?
Yeah, I was wondering about that too.
They are
Yeah.
machines.
Yeah, I mean maybe not perfect,
They run on
but
math.
if
Yeah.
they're not perfect, then it's more like a malfunction or a chip or something like
Right.
that.
It would be they would be
Yeah.
more accurate than a human working on it.
And if
Yeah.
if it's chips and humans made the chip and the chip malfunctions, then it's still the
Yeah.
human's fault.
yeah,
It's on you, Luke.
Yeah, exactly.
You're the one who fixed me yesterday.
yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah, then from there, Mala and Itchy are really upset, and they go over to their main big TV screen, and they use what seems like a dial-up modem, and they immediately are connected to like a spy cam of this guy's this guy's
Yeah.
shop,
Yeah.
Sondon, who's Art Carney.
Yeah, the Zoom is doing a slow pan of the
Yeah.
shop.
Yeah, and a lot of it's a very voyeuristic show. Like a
Mhm.
lot of it is them watching other people do stuff.
Or everybody
on
watching
video.
everybody doing stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah. Or
You
everybody's
should just
watching.
call it the Star Wars Nanny Cam special.
yeah.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
This guy is very disturbing. This Imperial guy, who for one
Yeah.
thing is like, I think he's wearing that helmet wrong. He's got it way back on his head.
It's like
You can
it's
see his big-
backwards or something.
Yeah,
It's so bad.
and it's clearly not like he's got this sinister voice like this, and he's just like some dork with a mustache, and he's
Yeah.
like, you know, like he's not saying anything, but this voice keeps coming from him. It's
Yeah.
really, really awkward.
Yeah. And Art Carney keeps trying to sell him stuff. He's like the good old timey like general store owner.
But so
Yeah.
why did Mala how did she contact Art Carney?
I think she called his shop. Like I think she's
But
calling
why would
his...
she call his shop?
To get, it seems like he's somehow knows what's up with
Well,
Han
because
and
he's
Chewie,
part
or
of
knows.
the. So he's her point person.
Yeah,
Like
he's
when
like
I
maybe the
can't
Alliance,
find
the
my
rebel guy on the
husband.
planet.
Yeah. Maybe Chewie and Art Carney go out drinking all the time, so she's
Yeah.
checking to see.
I think it's something else that we'll get to later, but I think it's more.
Oh my god.
I think it's Art Carney and Mala going out drinking.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
You know, Chewie hasn't made it back yet. You might have some time to wookie ookie.
You know, it could be create another life day.
Yeah, so Art Carney tries to sell this guy with the bad hat a little pocket-sized aquarium.
Mm-hmm. Whimsy.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
I kind of like Kenner doesn't sell that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's this benefiting?
Yeah.
Not the audience.
But it's very obviously like one of those. It's like one of those little aquariums you would get as a kid, you know, in the 70s. That would be like you'd press a little button on the side and bubbles would blow in it, and the fish would move around.
Right.
Yeah.
It'd like
Yeah,
it's like a
those things are cool.
99-cent little thing.
Yeah.
And the guy
But
says
no,
he
it's-
hates fish. And I was wondering if Marcus is referencing this in Last Crusade.
Maybe. But this scene goes on for about an hour
Yeah.
with like him like trying to sell him on some like trimming thing or something, like
He
hair
did,
trimmer thing, and
Yeah. What does he call it? I can't remember. A groomer.
I don't know.
A groomer.
Yeah, a groomer. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's like, and he's. I don't like who's the audience for. Like who's sitting there appreciating this? Who's having a great time?
that-
It's humor's all for like 80-year-olds.
I guess it kind of is. That's the thing. Like people who would just be satisfied seeing their old buddy Art Carney.
Yes.
from the
See, that's
Honeymooners.
why I
Yeah.
led with TV sucked. Back then, because I was coming away with this, like, who is appreciating this, or how?
Mhm.
Who's the audience? Not even who's appreciating. I feel like if you appreciate it, it'd almost be like, I don't know, incidental or something.
Right.
Like you're
Yeah.
like, who is this made for?
Yeah.
And I'm
Like,
not
the
talking.
producers are like, damn it, that vaudeville audience hasn't died yet. That generation is still around. I guess we have to still make TV for
I
them.
think
But
they're trying to
even
make it for
that,
the whole family. Like it's for Grandpa. It's like for Mala, Itchy, and
Right.
Lumpy. It's like Grandpa, Mom, and the kid.
But then I think kids are like sitting and watching TV with their grandparents or something, and they're used to, like, I was used to this stuff. Like I didn't
Yeah, I
want to
was
watch
too.
Donnie and Marie, but I was like, okay, I guess this is what
Yeah.
TV is. I guess I'll watch
Oh,
this.
here's Lawrence Welk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'll watch Lawrence Welk. That's what TV does to me. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
didn't
I
know
think
any better.
back in the day, you could just do whatever you wanted to.
Yeah.
They didn't know
It
anybody
did.
was
Yeah, it
watching.
could be incoherent.
Yeah.
It didn't have to be
Yeah.
funny as long as there was like a camera.
But Art Carney is a genuinely funny guy. Like on the Honeymooners,
is.
Sure.
Ed Norton is one of the funniest guys on TV.
Oh, sure.
And hadn't he just made like Harry and Tonto like a year before this or something?
Oh,
Or
I don't know.
He's like a legit good, like just
Yeah.
not comedic actor, but just a good actor. And he's like totally solid. Like everybody on the show is. Like B.
Yeah.
Arthur,
Yeah.
again, Harvey Korman. They're all like talented people, and they're all kind of doing what they're good at.
Yeah.
But you're like, why are you doing it here?
Well,
Like, what's happening?
That's the B. Arthur thing. Is she didn't know that this was Star Wars. She didn't know what her motivation was supposed to be. So she
Right.
just played Maud, like her character Maud from her
Right.
hit show Maud.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think they're just a lot of these people. This wasn't their. I mean, Star Wars wasn't their generation. It wasn't their movie. I think
Right.
they just played it the way they would play anything.
Yeah. Yeah. You see that a lot. And you're like, okay,
Yeah.
he's just doing his thing.
Yeah.
And hopefully it works. I hope somebody's enjoying this.
So yeah, the guy with the bad hat, the Imperial Guard, steals the groomer, and I actually kind of like one thing I like about Art Carney. This has a little bit of a people are going to shriek when I say this, but a little bit of a Casablanca feel. He's kind of got it's kind of this bittersweet, like quiet desperation that he's in this faraway world, and he's trying to
Mhm.
eke out a living. He's just waiting, while war is raging around him, and he's
Yeah.
just kind of this quiet, pathetic, tragic figure.
Right.
The guy
That's
steals
not
his
far
thing,
off.
and then he it's kind of a nice little moment, when he's like, "Oh, good, you're gonna take it. I was embarrassed to offer it to you." He's just trying to save
Right.
his own dignity. It's kind of nice.
Yeah. I'll defend you if people make fun of you for making that connection. That works.
And then we're back to Star Destroyers on the screen. And is this a clip from like it's a clip from Star Wars, right? Or like a deleted
I think
clip?
it's an unused clip from Star Wars. I think it's an outtake of him and the guy walking down the hall.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. That blew my mind.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's like, that's some extra Star Wars.
That blew my mind. I had never seen that before.
Mm-hmm.
And the Imperial officers telling Vader they ordered a blockade of Kazook. And they are, he doesn't call it Kazook yet. And Vader says he wants the rebels located and identified. And he says that if it means searching every household in the system.
Even those Wookiee ones.
Yep.
You know what's amazing? They're clearly on the Death Star, but all the kids are like, oh, wait, the Death Star blew up, so I guess they're on a Star Destroyer. All right.
Yeah, that's totally true.
That's hilarious.
And then we get our first two commercials.
Yeah.
I love the first one. I think like I would go out and buy a GM car because of this commercial.
Right. I guess this whole thing was sponsored by GM, right? They said
at
the top.
Yeah, there are a few of their, And we get this guy, Willie Rawls, talking about how proud he is to be working at GM.
Mm-hmm.
And it's cool. Like he's talking about how great the quality is there, and because they put their heart and soul into it. And it seems like he's literally like he's genuinely speaking from the heart. Like this seems like it's not an actor pretending to play a guy. Like this is a guy that's proud of what he's doing at the factory.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it ends with him like in the locker room, like getting dressed after work, and he's got this sweet outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like that commercial too, actually.
There are a lot of commercials during this thing that are just sort of like pictures of life in the 70s, which I get a lot of commercials are, I guess, but it's nice. It's like, that's what life looked like.
Yeah.
That's what people look like.
But they're so much more earnest than commercials are today. Like they're
for sure.
Just like real people saying like, buy my product. I think this is really good.
And there's like a lot of like just bald manipulation too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
That like wouldn't be a little more subtle today, but back then it's kind of like, this will work.
Yeah.
This will get them.
Yeah.
Plug at their Patriot strings. Yeah.
You want panties in your pantyhose? This is the place to go.
Yeah, you know what we're talking about. You want a bald eagle in your underwear? You got it.
That one's incredible. It's just really ridiculous.
We'll get there. I love this General Motors slogan, though. People building transportation to serve people.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, is that even clever or zippy?
I
or
couldn't
is
tell.
that a message of some sort?
It's like, it's a little on the nose.
Yeah.
It's like a company that makes cars that people can drive. General Motors. People building transportation to serve people.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was wondering is why didn't they say people, like cut out the, like if you're an editor, maybe cut out the little preposition, like the preposition.
Yeah. Just building transportation to serve people.
Or building transportation for people.
Oh, transportation
to serve people.
Yeah. It's a cookbook.
Well, then we get our next ad, which is this is something that as a kid my neighbor had. It's Kinner's new trail tracker.
Oh, I was going to ask. I'd never seen this before.
Oh, really?
This is the world's most exciting toy for about a minute and 30 seconds.
Most toys are like
and then it is the dumbest thing in the world. So it's like a little truck, and you have a plastic mat, and you draw a line on the mat, and the truck will follow the line that you draw with the crayon.
See, now I wanted to know what was magic about the crayon. Was it like barium in it? like mercury?
Yeah. Train tracks in it.
I figured it must be something toxic. There's no way that the truck knows. And it's really interesting coming after a GM commercial.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
How hard could making cars be?
Oh, you got to do
crayons and a blanket pad.
Just draw where you want it to go.
Right. Beep, beep.
What I wanted to know how it did work. Was there something it could read? I feel like
there have been a lot of versions of that over the years. I want to say but then I'm like, wait, it's 1978. Did they really have stuff that could do that back then?
Come with 4 crayons. Like there had to be something special about them.
Yeah.
Like it's magnetic or
Yeah.
something? I don't know.
Or there's something toxic.
So you would So I'm imagining trying to have fun, and you start drawing some curly cues, and it's pretty good, and some curves,
Yeah.
and then it does it, and then the next kid's like, my turn, and then some
Yeah.
smart ass does like a big, spiral all the way down to like a singularity, and you're like,
The
what
thing
is
collapses on itself.
Yeah. You get like a small black hole. I just wonder what, like at that point, how would it just stop? Would the truck just
I
stop?
think so.
Well, they have it in the commercial. There's a part where they've got two forking lines and they don't show what it does.
I think you see it mess up, actually. It looks like it's following the red line and then it meets a blue line and then goes to the blue line a little bit. You're like, was it supposed to do that? All right.
Yeah, I can't imagine that it was very accurate.
Yeah.
But then we get to we're back at the
The
Baca
show's
family.
back on.
Yeah.
Oh.
And we get a very long and lovingly filmed scene of Mala in the kitchen. First, she and Lumpy are doing dishes, and then she decides to turn on the TV, and we get Harvey Korman as Chef Gourmanda.
Mhm.
Right. Which right there, is a problem. Because it's not Harvey Korman's fault. He's great.
No.
But it's Chef Gourmanda.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Get
mean
it?
the alien Gourmanda.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
Lumpy.
everything in this
Whipster.
references something from Star Wars, which is it's why it feels like a Simpsons episode to me. It's like that's their
Right.
only references. So they're making bantha surprise,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
made out of the most tender part of the bantha, the loin.
She eats some raw bantha loin too.
Yeah.
In this, she like nibbles on it.
That's the
That's
kind.
gross.
Yep.
Yeah, this does go on for another hour and a half.
Yeah.
And like she's got multiple arms. Like that's the gag that they take about an hour to get to.
Yeah.
And then she's got all these arms to help her with the cooking.
Which
Yep.
I'll concede, like Gourmanda, is clever.
Sure. Yeah.
But it's like is the funny part the fact that isn't she going like stir, stir, whip, whip,
Yeah.
stir,
Yeah.
whip, whip, stir,
Yeah.
stir,
And
whip,
Mala
whip,
can't
stir,
keep
whip,
up.
whip.
It's too complicated.
Yeah.
And
Mala
it's-
only has two arms.
And
She
so
can't
is this like
keep up.
this is the bit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's not as clear in the I think in the show as it is in the script, because I think Mala gets really frustrated and just kind of puts the food down on the floor. But I don't know if
You
you
know
get-
she does. Yeah.
Yeah.
She
So
like
is this supposed to be like? First of all, is this like Thanksgiving dinner, and this is Julia Child?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's totally Julia Child. Yeah.
Yeah. Which makes you think, like, was that even a good show? Like that, a lot of people probably had exactly this problem with it. Like,
Yeah.
wait, hold, slow down, slow
Yeah.
down.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
the '70s. I can't pause or anything. Stop.
I mean, maybe this was funny in 1978. Like maybe if you watched Julia
Maybe.
Child to try to cook and you could never do it, maybe this was like, oh,
Is all of this just not funny because there had never been like The Simpsons yet or Mr.
Yeah.
Show or like people hadn't gotten into Monty Python yet or something.
I
Like
just
people
feel
didn't
that's
know
what
what
I'm
comedy
saying.
was.
I just feel like it feels like okay, you could play Xbox Call of Duty, or you could play
Right.
marbles.
Yeah. Or you could play Atari Pac-Man. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it's just like,
Yeah.
and that's where it got me thinking. Like, did people just consume anything at all because the other option was swinging on a tire from a tree?
yes.
So
Well, you were
Yeah.
alive. That's exactly what it was.
That's exactly. Yeah, I guess
You had
that's
What's-
3
what's
channels
nuts,
on
though?
the TV.
in one of the commercial breaks, we get an amazing ad break about what's on that next night. Or
Oh,
whatever.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's the spectrum of
Yeah.
the TV experience, a lot
Yeah.
of which was brilliant
Yeah,
and a lot of which is horrible, but we'll
Yeah.
get there. So there was good TV to watch.
yeah.
It was actually good TV that I would watch today. But yeah, there's a lot of just,
Yeah.
there's pretty colors on the screen. I think I recognize that guy.
yeah. Oh, he's got a sailor hat on.
He didn't have that last time.
And we all ate it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's
Yeah.
nuts.
Oh, we didn't have a choice. Like that was that, or yeah, like do something constructive, and no one wants to do something constructive when
No.
you're 5.
Read a book.
So then we were back to TIE fighters attacking the Falcon.
Yeah. Gets more Star Wars.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, and then so Han actually says something about doesn't he mentions the remote cannon.
Yeah, when I first was
Yeah.
watching this, I was like, how are they shooting the turret?
Yeah. And then he
Right.
mentions the remote cannon.
That he has to go back there and do it.
Yeah, because the remote cannon broke. And
Oh,
he
okay.
blames Chewie, doesn't he? Doesn't he like kind of
Maybe. Yeah. He does yell at him. He yells at him
Yeah.
a lot in this.
Yeah,
Although he's
I
also
don't like how he
tender.
treats Chewie in this. Like he definitely treats him like a pet.
Yeah. Or like a underling.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is weird. Like I feel horrible watching Harrison Ford in this. I just feel bad for him. It's like, oh my God, he's like you can feel his clenched fist under the console. Like, just get me through this. I'm under contract or something. I got to do this. But he does kind of come across to me as actual Han Solo.
He does. I think he
Yeah.
put the most into this as an actual, like, I'm going to act.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm going to use my skills as an actor to get through this and to say these lines and to express emotion.
Yeah. Because everybody else is so like, hi, Mala, how are you?
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
He's
It's
kinda,
rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a sincere, like you didn't get this part of his and Chewie's relationship in the movie. And you're like, oh, that makes sense. They're buddies. Like they really care about each other.
Yeah.
It's not all just, being hotshots in front of the new guys and
Yeah.
stuff.
Although then he says, why do I always think that taking you home for Life Day is going to be easy?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a hard line for me. Like I feel like he's like he's berating his friend for wanting to be home with his family for the holidays, and he's
Right.
It's
And can
weird.
I
Like Chewie could just be like, why did I hitch a ride with you? Why don't I take a bus next time?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was just
bum.
thinking, does Chewbacca not own a vehicle?
Right.
Or does he own the Falcon and Han just
Yeah.
kind of took over?
I mean,
Is it my
I
turn
really
yet?
am thinking about it. He's like, why does Han, he's the co-pilot,
Yeah.
meaning can he not fly it?
No, we know he can fly
He
it.
can.
Yeah, okay, so why does Han have to take him home? He's a grown-ass man with a wife and
Yeah.
a kid. He
And
he
a
lives
dad.
in Taliesin of Kazook.
Yep.
Who
And
knows?
Then we cut back to we're back in the house, and we get an emergency announcement on the TV that says that martial law has been declared and a
Mhm.
blockade has been set up around Kazook. This is where he says Kazook.
The Kazook planet.
Yeah, due to suspected rebel activity on the Kazook planet.
So wait, now why? Okay, what is the suspected rebel activity? If Han and Chewie are not on Kazook, I understand they're flying there, but they're not there.
Yeah. I don't know.
What is the?
I mean, it could be like Art Carney. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
that's what I'm wondering.
Maybe Art Carney
Yeah.
knows where Chewbacca is because there's been communication or something, and that's suspicious to the Empire or something.
Yeah.
Art Carney says a really weird line. He says something, I'm paraphrasing, but like he's like, I'm a fan of the rebellion and part of the Rebel Alliance.
Oh yeah, member. He's he's like a member of the friend of the rebellion and member of the alliance or something like that. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like two. It's like, wait, are those two different?
Yeah, are those two
Yeah.
different things?
Wait a minute.
Is there like what? Like
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
if you're like a member of it, then you're a card carrying member of the Rebel Alliance. And then I even
or is like the alliance part of the rebellion or vice versa?
Yeah,
or something?
or
like,
is-
are they
could
you-
could you be
subsets?
part of the rebellion but not be part of the Rebel Alliance? I guess you're
Right.
just like those people who are down
Oh, that's
below who
good,
are
yeah.
clapping when like, the
Yeah.
Death Star blows up. You're not necessarily
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe since the Death Star blew up, like that's the first time the rebels have had some sort of like political legitimacy or something, and now people are behind them, and maybe they're not like taking up arms, but they support them, and
Or
that's the
maybe
alliance or
they're-
something.
Other people who are rebelling against the Empire who want to have a different kind of government. In the
Oh,
Rebel
yeah.
Alliance.
Oh, interesting.
That's
Or he-
Sackville Rebellion.
He could just also have an old timey way of talking because he also says "make yourself to home" a couple times, which I love.
Yeah,
Yeah, he shows up right now.
yeah.
He knocks on the
With
door
gifts.
and comes in with some gifts. One of which is probably the most disturbing part of this whole holiday special.
Yeah. No, We could skip it. You want to skip it?
Tommy, you know what we said when we in those early when we first started out with Raiders, when we said no, we're going to talk about things.
Right,
As we
that's
said,
true.
whatever the
that is
directors
true.
and the writers give us, with the exception of the Area 51 and the Ark, and Crystal
I know
Skull,
what you're
that
talking
gets
about.
a pass. But everything else we said,
what?
nope, they gave it to us, so we should discuss it.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well,
So we are
we'll-
going to discuss Art Carney
we'll
setting
start
up
easy
Itchy
first.
with
Pornhub.
Okay, okay.
He gives Lumpy a box. We don't know what it is, and Lumpy runs upstairs with it. And then he has something for Mala, and he makes her kiss him before he gives it to her. Which
Yeah.
is
Give me some
a bit
sugar.
Creepy. But then, he gives Art Carney, or he gives Itchy, Chewie's dad, basically a porn videotape.
Yeah. And like it's porn because he's like, wow. She
Yeah.
got his hand by
It's like, wow. Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, and he says happy life day, and I do mean happy life day.
Good gravy.
Who is?
Here's to help you. It's that scratch that itch. Itchy.
Yeah.
Hey, yo.
Yeah. Check that Lumpy. So what you wonder, you're like, so is this during the program, is this where the 9-year-old turns to his father
Yeah.
in real life and looks at him and he's like, oh
it
my
says-
God.
Is this like when I stuck a fork in the back of the cable box?
Who is the audience for this? Who are they trying to
don't know.
we all
Yeah,
basically send Mala to the kitchen, like send the
Yeah.
kid upstairs with a distraction, some marbles, whatever.
Why not send the kids in the audience to their room, for God's sake?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
parents, this next part is
Has-
saucy.
Has there ever been another time in television history on a children's show where they had a large segment devoted to an old man watching porn and another old man telling him how great it was going to be, other than the that one on on Different Strokes?
Oh, God. There was that one Captain Kangaroo that went way off the rails.
It was Captain POV. I remember it. Yeah. No, there's.
Let's think about Mr. Green Jeans jokes that we can make on the show that we don't have to bleep,
Yeah.
but they get the point across.
But what? So,
I don't
and
know.
what's really interesting is you're like, really, I'm not letting this go. So,
Right.
like Itchy's watching this, and it's Vavoom.
We should say what he's watching
Yeah, we
because
should say
people
what
are
he's
like,
watching.
people are. It's not literally porn, but he's like he's
Well-
settled into this like lounge chair thing.
It's
Uh-huh.
virtual
With it's like
reality.
some
right?
virtual reality hypnosis thing or
Yeah.
whatever.
And it's Diane
And
Carroll.
Diane
wearing
Carroll,
like a space wig.
Yeah.
yeah, alluringly dressed, singing some swan song.
Well,
twerk
she
song.
starts off and she says, I am found in
She's
your eyes only. I exist for you alone.
Yes.
I am in your
Oh, boy.
mind as you create me. Oh, yes. I can feel my creation. She said,
It's amazing.
I'm getting your message.
It's
Are you getting
amazing.
mine? And then she says, Oh, we are excited, aren't we?
Oh my
Oh,
god!
damn. Really?
It's like even if the little kids don't pick up on this, there are adults in the room being like,
Yeah.
turn it off,
turn it off."
Fast forwarding. Yeah.
There was no fast forwarding in
I
1978.
know. They're like, wait a minute. TV, get me out of this.
No, and she keeps going with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Good
getting your
Lord.
message. Are you getting mine? I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
it's crazy. And she's like, just relax. Yes, just a little more. And she
Oh,
says it
wow.
all in like this really like breathy, like,
No,
whisper
it's
voice.
fantastic if it wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then she said, she's before she sings her song, she's like, now can we have a good time? She says, oh, now
Man,
we can have a
shove
good
it.
time, can't we?
That's
And
incredible.
they keep cutting back to Itch, and he's so disturbing.
He's
looking.
so disturbing. Like, oh, he's
Gross.
got like Oh,
And the whole
yeah,
time he's like,
Yeah, I know. He's got like this stalactite of drool from the top of his
Yeah.
mouth down to his gnarled, matted chest fur. It's just,
and then she tells him she
Oh.
finds him adorable, and he keeps rewinding that part.
yeah.
She keeps.
Oh my
So
God.
what is? It's incredible. It's you know what it is. It's like the beginning of a James Bond movie.
It is. It's
Yeah.
like the opening credits of a James
Yeah.
Bond.
Yes,
movie.
it is,
So it
yeah.
like from like 1983 or something.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. And
The song's a
vibey.
good song.
The song's
yeah.
fun, and yet she's killing it.
Yeah.
But you're like, what is going on? And so is this the sort of thing you're like, we don't know where Chewbacca's mother is, right? So is this the sort of thing that is to assuage that part of a widower's, I guess, life? I mean, is that
I
what
don't
they're
know.
kind of doing here?
Or do we know that Chewbacca's not half human?
Oh, weird. Wait a minute. What?
Itchy seems to have a human fetish.
Yeah,
true,
that's
yeah.
totally true.
That is weird.
I don't know.
And also, just you're like,
Diane Carroll's beauty just transcends, species divides and everything.
I-
It just,
sure,
like,
maybe.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
I could see
Okay.
that. But you're like, where's Chewbacca's mom? And is this the gift? I mean, if she's dead or not there, maybe they're divorced. Who knows? Maybe he has an addiction to this thing, to
Yeah.
Diane Carroll, and
God.
she just left the tree one day.
I don't know.
Man.
Yeah, but how did Art Carney know like what kind of porn like Itchy likes? Like did they talk
Yeah.
about this?
What was that first conversation like?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
who approached who? Was Itchy like, and Art Carney's like, I hear you loud and clear, pal.
I
Next
bet
time I
it's one
come
of
over,
those
I'll
shops.
hook you up.
It's like a Spencer's Gifts. There's like a secret section in the back where you can like walk in the back and it's
Yeah.
like all the porn.
But they
and all
don't.
That's the
They're
beaded
not
curtain.
hiding it. That's what's weird. They're not
Yeah.
like.
He's in the middle of the living room. He's like in the chair in the living room.
And it's kind of, there's just genuine.
Mom, I gotta finish my homework. I left it in the living room. Just 5 more minutes. Just wait.
It's like there's just this acceptance is that this is what fathers or I guess older gentlemen do, or older widowers.
God.
I don't know what this is what grandfathers do.
This is so sad.
And there's nothing. It's fine. Enjoy yourself, whatever. But it's in the
We're
middle
all
of the
here. He's
living
enjoying
room.
himself.
On
Literally.
I got
Yeah.
nothing against whatever time you need.
Right.
You're not hurting
There's no
anybody.
shame involved.
Yes,
Just
exactly.
not in
but
my
just
face.
Not on.
Yeah.
Not in the middle, like under the Christmas tree. That's all.
Where have these Life Day orbs
On
been?
top of the cranberry sauce.
Oh my God.
It's just.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Could you mash your potatoes somewhere else, Itchy? Crying out loud.
So thankfully we cut now to Princess Leia.
Wait.
Yeah.
Last thing.
Yeah.
I was going to say one of the things that drives me nuts is that I hate about this is I hate when the talk is arousing, but then nothing happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
That actually, I kind
Sure
of,
wants his money back.
yeah, I just, I kind of like, let's
That
either
wasn't
just,
a happy life day.
yeah, I'm kind
Yeah,
of like,
wait a
let's
minute.
just either do a song and that's fine. We can enjoy the song because we like music, and the song could even be, as you said, like Tommy, a torch song or a ballad or
Yeah.
something. You go, sure,
Mhm.
that's awesome. Or if you want to have some, good old salacious times by yourself, then it's like, then that is fine. But what's strange about this is it's all like, I can feel your
Yeah.
excitement. But then it's just,
Which I'm now going to ignore
yeah,
for 3 minutes.
Actually, it's funny now that when you say that line, that sort of cheapens Darth Vader talking about I can feel your power. Like, is that just something everybody says in the Star Wars?
Oh,
universe?
sure. Maybe she's like a force sensitive,
yeah.
Yeah.
woman of the night.
Yeah.
Darth Vader's good with the neck, and Diane Carroll's
Yeah.
good with the other parts.
Even lower down.
All right.
Ugh.
And you know what made this even more disturbing for me is the song was totally giving me PTSD about Crystal Skull, because this song is all this minute now, this minute now,
Oh,
this
God.
minute now, this minute
Yeah.
now.
When are you gonna finish it? What are you guys doing? Why are you talking about Star Wars? Yeah, like all the lyrics are just.
I think the name
Yeah.
of the song is This Minute. Actually, it's all.
Oh,
just-
God.
Wow.
So now we cut to Princess Leia's office. She's
Yeah.
sitting behind a
She's
desk.
busy with paperwork.
Yep, and C-3PO is trying to work the TV to get Mala on the screen.
Yeah.
And yeah, Leia's wearing her hair buns and her princess robe from when she was first captured.
Yeah. Now she looks, like Han Solo. She looks exactly like Princess Leia. It's like, okay, that's Princess Leia from the movie Star Wars, but she does not feel like Leia at all.
No,
and
she
really.
doesn't.
I actively dislike her in this.
Yeah, I do too.
So what?
There's something kind of like fakey, officious politician kind of like very. She's being very fakely polite in a way that you're like, she doesn't want to be here
it's
and she's trying to
horrible.
get you out of her
Yeah.
house or something.
Yeah, when she's
Yeah.
talking to Mala, she says, "Look, I don't want to tie up the channel. Could you do me a favor and send Chewbacca or Han Solo to the screen?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when she
that's
says it, it's
weird.
just like, "Oh, that's horrible."
Yeah.
But then she asks if there's someone there that could translate, and 3PO steps in and says, "If you'll permit me," and then he asks her if she's alone, and 3PO turns back around and says, "No, she's not alone. She's with a friend." And he pauses before he says a friend, which is why I think maybe she and Ed Norton have a little something going on.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Does that mean she just told 3PO that? Like, oh yeah, my boyfriend's here. Don't tell Chewie.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if you listen to how he says it, that's exactly how he says it.
Yeah.
She's with
A friend.
a friend.
Wink. I can't wink, Your Highness, but get it?
If you'll permit me.
Yeah. But then like he says he's a local trader, and says that's what he says, a friend of the rebellion and a member of the alliance. And Leia's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, good, okay, I can trust you." And then she
Yeah.
says,
Get me
"I
some
can
coffee.
count on you to take care of my friends until their leader returns."
Right.
God.
Yeah, that's what she says, leader. That's just weird.
And she's talking
Yeah,
about Chewbacca.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is just strange.
And I don't know if the script had rewrites or if this was how it was written. But it's really weird.
Yeah.
So is she also? You can take care of my friends because she knows that the like martial law has been imposed.
I guess.
Like, why do the Chewbacca? I don't even. What are their names? The Chewbacca. I don't even
Baccas
want to
or
know.
I don't
Yeah, I
know.
don't even want to know the
The
damn
Baccas.
last name. I'm sure there is
Lumpy
one.
Bacca.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do they
The
need
East
to be
Hampton
taken
Baccas.
care of? Like, because it's sort of like
Yeah.
a friend, and you're like, okay, now that there's a man in the house,
Yeah. Why do they?
I
have to
don't
be taken
know.
care
Why
of?
do they
Yeah.
like? And so he's part of the Rebel Alliance, and you're like, well, I mean, aren't the Baccas part of the Rebel Alliance? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. Just
Yeah.
who's guard?
Yeah.
Is it? I guess maybe because martial law has been imposed. Maybe she knows that they're going to go from house to house, looking for suspicious activity. I mean, I feel like saying they just had it 2 minutes ago
Yeah.
Yeah.
with Itchy.
Yeah.
Yeah, something weird's going on here.
Yeah. It's a very
then after-
strange thing. They're going to go house to house throughout the entire system, every house in the
Yeah.
system, to look for
Yeah.
suspicious. I mean, why don't they do that
Yeah.
every day of the year?
Yeah.
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 It's their job.
This is like their round up the usual suspects. Yeah. But it's funny because Leia says she asked Art Carney to take care of her friends until their leader returns. And then he says, "Yes, indeed, ma'am. That's what I'm here for." And he puts his arm around Mala.
Take care of her real good.
Yeah. But then he's like, "Now then, what's that I smell? Could it be some of those famous Wookiee Ookies?"
Oh God.
Ah,
That's disturbing.
yeah, that sucks.
Not in front of the child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we're back to Han and Chewie in the Falcon.
So
Yeah.
Pete, what are Wookiee Ookies?
I don't know. I just thought it was those cookies that Lumpy was trying to steal at the beginning, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe.
probably.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
If we're lucky, that's what they are.
No,
Yeah.
Jerry, you know me. I'm not a Wikipedia guy.
Yeah.
I don't know anything that's not on the screen.
There you go.
It's
I
great-
refuse to set
I
the
don't even know what the hell is on the
information.
screen.
Yeah, that's a good point. But yeah, so now Han says they better land on the north side of Kazook because it's safer there. Which seems weird because that'd be like if you're flying to New York and you say, let's land at the North Pole.
Right. We'll just walk.
Yeah, and Chewie complains. Yeah, Han says it's a long walk. A little exercise never hurt
Yeah.
anybody.
We'll
But
be
I was
there in
wondering,
7
does Han
weeks.
Solo exercise?
I don't know. He
I
doesn't have to.
I don't think he does.
See, I picture him
Yeah.
having one of those like pull-up bars between the door, like
Oh,
like
Yeah.
when Leia walks by, he like starts doing pull-ups.
1001, 1002.
But yeah, so
And there's a kind of like actually almost clever like misdirect here because they're flying over. You know that they're approaching Kazook,
Mhm,
and they cut to Lumpy in his room, and he hears a ship go over,
mhm.
and he's like, "Oh, I bet my dad's home." And he runs, and oh no, it's stormtroopers.
Yeah, that's good actually. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yep, and he opens the door and the stormtroopers there,
Dun,
and then we
dun,
cut to
dun.
commercial.
Yeah,
And this is the the commercial you were talking about. This first
yeah.
one.
It's like, hey, coming up on CBS, and it's like 60 Minutes, and like All in the Family,
Uh-huh.
which is like a legit great show.
Yeah.
It was great then, it's great now, like groundbreaking.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get Alice, which is like, okay,
Yeah, that's
it's
solid.
It's fine, it's enjoyable, it's a little bit forgettable, but it's good.
Yeah.
And then it's like Lucy in Nashville, like Lucille Ball,
Yeah.
like doing exactly this Star Wars show that we're watching, but in Nashville. Like it's like another variety thing with all of her fun, talented guests or whatever. And then Dallas, which was like, I mean, nobody argues that it's good, but it was like huge at the time.
Yeah.
Everybody was into it and stuff.
Huge.
And it's like this, nighttime. So like, I'm pregnant. It might not be your baby.
Yeah.
And JR's just glaring at her and stuff. And it's like the full. It's like, okay, TV could be great, or it could be fine, or it could be kind of trashy but enjoyable,
Yeah.
or it could be like really stupid.
Yeah.
Or it
that's the whole
could be,
gamut.
60 Minutes. It's like, okay, we need the shows like 60 Minutes. Those are part of our democracy almost and stuff. But we don't really need Alice. We don't really need Lucy
Yeah.
in Nashville.
Yeah. Did you guys ever have like a Who Shot JR shirt or a hat?
No, but my parents let me stay up and watch. I think the episode. Oh, it was like a double. They did like 2 in a row. They did like him getting shot, and then like another episode right after that. And I thought right away that Sue Ellen did it, but it wasn't her.
I've never seen an episode.
I've never
I used to,
saw
I used
really?
to watch just the intro, like the see Texas
Oh
Stadium.
yeah, Pete. When you and I were in college, do you remember?
Yeah.
I went to the
Yeah.
mall and I bought a tape of
I
it was
loved that.
TV's greatest theme songs, and it
Oh,
had
nice.
Dallas on it, which was
Yeah.
incredible, and it had the
Yeah.
A Team, gunk, 1975, and it had Hawaii 5-0,
Yeah.
which I think was Hawaii Jive 5-0. It was like not.
Oh, it was like
yeah, I think
fakey.
it was like
Yeah.
when they do
Yeah.
like a fake version of it or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
A
too bad.
but Dallas had the best intro.
Yeah.
I'd say almost of
Mhm.
any TV show, but I never watched a single episode. I have no
Yeah,
idea who
same with
shot
me.
JR, but that was the biggest thing at the time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it was massive. Yeah,
That was on late too. That must have been on at like 10 p.m.
yeah. It was definitely like a nighttime show.
Yeah.
It was unusual that I got to stay up and watch it,
Mm.
but I found a way sometimes. Yeah, Dallas continued the education that I got from Charlie's Angels, if you know what I mean.
Just wait till we get to Flying High, Tom.
Oh my god!
Oh, wow.
I can't wait. Yeah.
That one's coming up though. Our
Yeah.
next commercial is for Comtrex, and this one's weird.
Yeah, we can
There's
talk
a-
about this all day.
There's a guy that opens up his medicine cabinet. Or there's this bathroom. There's what seemed to be man and wife, and he opens up his side of the medicine cabinet, and he has like 30 different medicines in there.
Mhm.
And then she opens up her side, and it's just one box of Comtrex. And she
Mhm.
says, this one pill does everything that all the medicine in his side does. And then she calls him out by name,
Yeah.
which is really weird.
Right.
Like she says,
Yeah.
Comtrex does better than Anacin, or which I've never seen.
Right.
I don't remember ever seeing in a commercial where the commercial says our product is better than by name.
Oh, that was huge back then. They did that constantly,
Hmm.
and they do it in a couple of these. I think like there's other
Yeah,
commercials.
there-
You know
yeah.
what I
watch on
couldn't
yeah.
YouTube.
figure out? She's in embarrassing her husband in front of the entire world.
You know what though? That was a thing.
Yeah.
That was like, I wrote an essay about this in my notes here, that like there was like a thread going through like shows and commercials. And I guess, I don't think it still happens now because we're kind of beyond it a little, but like, it was like the understanding that the woman was the smart one, but she never got to shine because the man, it was like a man's world and he's in charge and everything. And he's like up in front and everything.
Yeah.
And like the woman would like, you know, come forward and be like, no, I got to figure it out. I got this one box of medicine that does all this stuff. I'm the smart one. And she kind of winks at, she doesn't literally wink here, but like, there's always that kind of understood wink of like, we get it.
Yeah.
Like, yes, the men get to control the world and everything, but we know what's
we
up.
know who's behind it. Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
And the weirdest part is her husband is kind of sitting there and he's not convinced.
Yeah.
In the commercial,
Keep taking his
he's just
whatever.
or either he's not convinced or he's
yeah,
completely content taking 30 different medications.
right.
It's really, really weird.
Yeah.
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 And it is.
Like,
There's
I'll
something.
just get back with my mistress later, and I won't have to worry about that.
Well, I
I'm
thought
gonna
maybe
be raided in my own
this
bathroom.
entire commercial stemmed from maybe her husband was watching Diane Carroll. And she's like, she came in and she's like, you know what I'm going to do?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm not going to cheat. You know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to go and tell the whole world what a dumbass he is taking 30 medications.
Yeah. I'm going to eat pancakes on your grave after you die from taking all that contact and Anacin at the same time.
And it's really, I'm like, there's something really sad about having side the his and hers of just one paltry medicine cabinet.
Yeah.
It's just one, and it slides and it slides. And I'm like, that's all you have.
There's no and there are no toothbrushes or anything. Like, it's just
no.
It's like you have
headache
half
pills.
a medicine cabinet to conduct your entire life out of.
It's like they're waging a silent war.
Yes, it's like a Cold War.
Yeah.
Fever reducers.
Their whole marriage is sliding that mirror back.
And he's just sitting there with a stupid grin. That's what's weird. He's not angry or he's not incredulous. And there's no denouement at the end. He's not like, wow, you're right, honey. Thank you. I'll get contracts.
Yeah. What's incredible too is later on in the show we get a commercial for Contact, which she's dogging on.
Yeah,
that's in his side of the medicine cabinet.
And I think they say something bad about somebody else in that one.
Anacin.
Probably.
Oh yeah.
There's an Anacin one too.
There's also
and I feel like saying, aren't all of them out of business?
Yeah, I don't know if any of these. I think Anicin's still around, but I don't know about these other ones.
I mean, these days, I feel like doesn't everybody just take OxyContin now?
Yeah, really. Before we were cool enough to have an opioid crisis.
Jesus.
Well, speaking of opioid crises, this next commercial feels like you're on an opioid when you're watching it.
Oh my
It's
God.
the International Ladies Garment Union.
Oh my gosh.
And who best to represent the International Ladies Garment Union but some balding dude in a bolo tie sitting on a stool.
Yep. He talks about how if you buy clothing made by the International Ladies Garment Union, you buy American and you keep your tax dollars and your jobs local, which I think is actually great. Like I love what he's saying there. But and then we cut to like an older woman, maybe 70s, late 60s, like wearing some glasses, sitting on a big cube.
She's probably 40.
She probably is 40. It's the 70s. And she starts singing "Look for the Union Label," and then a whole cohort of others come in singing behind her, like they've all got her back.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Which
it looks a lot like the town meeting in Jaws. Are you going to close the beaches?
It does.
You know what's incredible? I watched these and I was like, wow, these commercials all failed. Everything, today every single thing is made overseas.
Amazing. That's amazing.
I mean, there are some exceptions, of course. I understand. I mean, what's fascinating is this is so alive and such a lightning bolt in 1978. And in the drum community, like just watching drums over the years, it's like Ludwig's were made in Chicago, Illinois. Slingerland drums were made in Chicago, Illinois. It's like
Mhm.
there was a whole
Mhm.
thing. And then you see in the 80s, Yamaha gets big and Pearl, they're all made in
Mhm.
Japan.
Yeah.
And there's this
Yeah.
whole now everybody wanted stuff made in Japan. And then it's like, and then it comes back to the United States. Now, if your drums are made in the United States, that's what you should do. And it's this whole, it's a very, very interesting part of I don't know, American culture. And seeing it from the late 70s, I don't know, it was inspiring and also kind of made me sad. I'm like, there's hardly anything,
Yeah.
at least that.
That's amazing what you said. Almost everything on here has failed. Like almost everything
Yeah,
on
it
here
was like
doesn't
the last
exist
gasp.
anymore.
It's like they just realized something was going wrong, and they're like, "Hey, everybody, please pay attention." Oh,
Yeah.
never mind.
Yeah.
Go on,
Forget
already.
it.
Forget it.
yeah.
And I understand there's a lot of boutique things that are made in the United States, and I think that's become a thing too. It's certain things and smaller companies that are rising, and they're your neighbor or on Etsy or whatever, and that stuff's all really cool. But if you just look around, if you walk around your house and pick things up and see the little sticker of where it's
Mhm.
made,
Yeah.
it's just drastically different than what we saw
Yeah,
growing
yeah.
up.
And generally, if you see something that says "Made in the USA," you paid a lot of money for it,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
which is yeah.
Yeah. Especially if
bring
it's
back the-
garments.
Yeah, we need to bring back the
Yeah,
old
right.
ILGU.
Hell yeah.
So then we cut to commercial 4, which is a Thurston Howell looking guy getting a Snoopy and Woodstock phone,
Yeah.
and it's a "Be choosy, get genuine Bell."
Okay, so
I actually literally remember this commercial.
so hold up. I remember, and Tommy, you made fun of me for years on this. I thought, being from Cleveland, growing up, that everybody had Ohio Bell. I just
You were in
figured,
Michigan and you're using a payphone. A payphone is a phone that used to stick coins. A coin is a piece of money that you use. But yeah, we're looking at a payphone. It said like Michigan Bell, and you stood there for like 10 full seconds, and you're like, I thought it was Ohio Bell.
I did. I had no idea that
That's
each
awesome.
state, and then there's Pacific Bell. Was there Pacific
Uh-huh.
Bell?
Yeah.
So
Pacific
what
Bell.
did you have, Tommy?
I mean, the names are all different now, but I think it was just New York Bell.
But in Connecticut, you had New York
Yeah,
Bell.
but it was like, that big, that tri-state area.
Sure,
of,
sure.
Well, I think
Yeah.
most of the places I lived as a kid had Mountain Bell.
Oh, sure.
So what the hell is genuine? We don't have a state called Genuine. What's Genuine Bell?
I think it's just any Bell corporation, because they were all like,
Yeah.
they broke up the monopoly, but they all formed like sister companies.
Mhm.
Like it was originally one like Ma Bell, and they broke them all up, like
Yeah.
trust busting, and then they all became kind of sister Bell corporations.
That phone that they have there where they take off the receipt, like they're making the point like, oh, we got all these cool, you get a Snoopy phone, you get a whatever cool, like oblong phone, whatever's in it, it's all still the same stuff inside. And they take the regular phone and they like lift it up so like the receiver and the whole cover comes off. And I was like, that'd be an awesome phone.
Yeah.
I remember as a kid thinking like, I want that phone. That's
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah. We ever
Yeah.
see
It's
a
those
naked phone.
those see-through phones?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
They're
Yeah.
kind of badass. I always
Yeah.
wanted the one that kind of looked a little bit like I don't know, almost like a hand purse.
Yeah. Is that kind of like what they have at the
I
beginning
think
of this
so.
one?
Yeah, where
Yeah,
you pick up the
yeah.
receiver and it's really, really small. It's like the hand.
Yeah, and
like,
it sort of like blends perfectly into the
Right.
like kind of circle.
and so
Oh,
of the,
yeah, I
what,
know,
like,
yeah.
what
Yeah.
shape is that? What does that imitate? Pete, I know you know because it seems kind of like mid-century modern, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. Yeah.
Like, what shape
mod.
is it? Yeah, why? Like, what is it imitating? Like, all I can think of is it kind of looks like a small handbag or purse or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
And did the
never
receiver?
know.
The receiver was small. It didn't have circular. It didn't have the circular cups, one on your ear and one on your
You're
mouth.
talking about the rectangle. They were kind of rectangular.
I
right?
think
Like
so, right?
Yeah. But
Oh
they
yeah,
were
those
small.
guys.
Yeah.
How the hell could
think
you
it was-
use that?
Well, I think with as well as you're able to project, Jerry, I feel like you could have held it to your ear and not had a lot of problems.
Well, thank you, Peter.
Calling you a loudmouth.
Yeah, I know.
Was it still hilarious and shocking in 1978 to see like a a rich Thurston Howell looking guy getting a Snoopy and Woodstock phone.
Yeah, and being delighted by
Yeah. Oh my God, that rich old guy has a Snoopy phone.
it. It's a weird juxtaposition. He's a rich guy, but he likes a
he's
Snoopy
regular
phone.
John D. Rockefeller, but
he's human like me.
yeah, he's still tied.
Now I like rich people.
Can't escape his childhood.
Well, speaking of can't escape our childhoods, we get commercial 5 is an ad for the Bible on CBS.
Oh, yeah. Is that the John Huston one? Yeah, John Huston.
Yeah, I think it
he
is.
directed
Yeah,
that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you the Lord my God?
Did you ever see that? Did you see the Bible, Pete?
I didn't see it. No, I didn't actually see it. I saw the 10 Commandments, but not the Bible.
It doesn't look good.
No.
It looks weird.
Although
70s
Star Wars
weirdness.
also doesn't look good on this, so it's possible
That is very
it was
true.
good like on a big screen if it were originally. But I don't know. But then we get a commercial for Reggie Jackson eating a Reggie Jackson candy bar.
Reggie bar.
Incredible.
Yeah. He said, at the end, he says, "Reggie, you taste pretty good."
That's what Diane Carroll said.
Yeah. So Pete, did he hit 3 home runs in one World Series game?
Well, he said he did. I'm
That's
gonna take him at his word.
incredible.
Yeah.
There's songs about him.
Yeah.
I remember the Reggie. I don't know if I ever in my life had a Reggie bar, but I do remember them.
I did. I remember going.
I vaguely remember
appreciating
I remember
them.
when they came out and getting them. I went to Revco.
Oh, it looked disgusting.
Anybody in the Midwest?
Were they disgusting?
They look to me. I don't like milk
okay.
chocolate or caramel. So
Oh, right.
Well, you know the
You're
problem
weird.
about the Reggie bar is when you're going and you're perusing the candy aisle. The Reggie, well, it wasn't a bar. It was a circle.
It's small.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
circle.
it was
it's
small,
like
and so you're kind of you looked at it in like a Snickers, or I'll tell you
like
something
a
like
marathon bar.
yeah, a
or
marathon bar
yeah.
was you kind of you're getting your money's worth on that.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And the Reggie bar, Reggie circle, whatever it was, that it just was small.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's pretty dense. It was pretty.
It was.
I mean, you see him. It's like
it looks dense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's something
That's
that
good.
I would want to put in my mouth. Like, I don't know if that's a good ad. Oh, it's very dense.
Yeah. It's very significant. Oh, the show's back on.
Yep, we end the suspense and at the door is a couple of stormtroopers and another guy with a bad helmet and like an Imperial officer. And then they kind of start searching the house. And Ed kind of nonchalantly walks over and closes the door to the secret communication.
Yeah.
Oh.
But then
he's smooth.
And then what does I can't figure out the stormtrooper goes and he opens something in the wall.
Yeah.
He opens the
does,
same thing, but
but
there
then
are like 2 doors that hide the TV monitor. And he only opens the first door.
Oh. I was
Tricky.
like,
There's like another
I
one
thought that
behind
was
it.
like a liquor stash or something. I don't know why I thought that, but
Yeah.
I guess it was just itchy.
It's like the Oscar Goldman briefcase that came with the Oscar Goldman doll from the $6 Million Man. And if you open the briefcase the right way, it's just one kind of normal briefcase. But if you open the wrong way, it's all exploded inside. So that door works the same way.
That's awesome.
I love being a kid. Childhood in the 70s was fantastic.
It was.
TV be damned.
It was amazing. Yeah. And maybe music be damned because Art Carney distracts the Imperial Guard, the guy with the bad hat, by turning on a hologram of Jefferson's starship.
I guess
God,
so.
that's weird.
I was just, as we were talking, I was trying to look up different lineups of Jefferson Starship because I'm not like a student of like Jefferson Airplane and Jefferson Starships, but there was always that one guy who was in all the versions, and I don't see him in this one. Like you know him from like whatever, we built this city and Sarah and all those dumb things, and I don't think he's in this one. So is there some like weird like I think this is one of those bands that had like Yes, that had like 17 different versions, and you never have the same guys in the same thing, or I don't know.
Well, and I think the most disturbing image in all of this holiday special is at the beginning of this thing that the guy's watching, the whoever the singer is, you see him with his microphone in silhouette, and it is without a doubt the most phallic looking image I think that was ever shown on an American TV before probably the late 90s. It's amazing.
Wait,
You can get away with things in science fiction.
Yeah.
You just slip that stuff in and nobody gets it.
oh my!
But their brain does.
You know what? So I'm looking a couple of Oh wow! I just are you looking at it? So Sarah, obviously, but they also did "Find Your Way Back."
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah. Find your way back
Yeah.
to your heart. Yeah, I don't know who this guy is.
Oh,
I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm just thinking like, okay, we need a musical number here. Who should we get?
Yeah.
well, that's what's
I guess
so.
you go with is it because their name is Jefferson Starship?
I think
Yeah,
so.
I
Yeah, I think
bet it
I
is,
think so.
100%.
Oh man.
This will be a great
Okay.
tie-in.
Get it? I mean, it works. It distracts the guard for 3 minutes.
I don't understand what these virtual things are.
I don't know.
Are they?
Like, this
Is
one's
it
in like a box.
Is it like a video?
Yeah.
Is it supposed to be like a futuristic take on a video game? I guess, or
it's like it's all
It's
like,
like TV.
colored.
It's like
and-
Yeah.
3D TV.
it's like
yeah,
yeah.
it's supposed to be like little holograms
Sure.
or something.
yeah.
which I guess is an extension of Princess Leia's message in Star
Yeah.
Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, then he finishes watching it, and Ed Norton's kind of dancing a little bit behind him, and then they decide they're going to search the rest of the house, and the officer tells someone to go up and search the upstairs, and Mala tries to stop him, and the stormtrooper points a blaster in their face,
Yeah.
and the officer says, we don't want to have to hurt anybody. But then he says, but when my men get angry, I can't always control them. And I think this is the first time I've ever thought about stormtroopers getting angry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
They're always kind of like bored or
that's why
antsy or
maybe why I always, as a kid, thought they were robots, because they don't seem to have any emotion.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I definitely can't see them angry.
Right. Beyond like a, hey,
Yeah, yeah,
get back here.
yeah. And then we get the magic moment where while everyone's searching the house, Lumpy goes over and turns on his computer, and you think it's going to be like, it looks like he's about to play Simon at first.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
But then when he looks around and notices no one's paying attention, so he turns on the Boba Fett cartoon.
Yeah.
Okay, I have no
Which, again,
idea.
I think it's super
I
cool.
just have to say, I didn't understand how this fit into this thing that I'm watching.
Well, think about this. So all of the characters from Star Wars are so well known in the galaxy that they have their own cartoon special.
Yeah.
So like,
Oh my god!
Lumpy's watching his
Yeah.
dad on a Saturday morning cartoon.
Right.
Wait, are you being serious right now?
I
That's
am.
That's what we're watching, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
mean,
Well,
And
and then what's even weirder than that is like when they get to the point, it's like a story about like Han and Chewie are off on something, and then they meet like Luke meets Boba Fett, who they think is a friend, is going to help him out. Oh no, but Boba Fett is talking to Darth Vader, and when he gets to that point, like he makes it like Lumpy makes a noise, like oh no or something, and like the Imperial guys downstairs start coming up, and it's like, and it cuts to commercial, like oh no, Lumpy's going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
But like because he
wait,
like is the cartoon like life? or
wait a
something?
minute, wait
Like, did
a
Lumpy
minute.
stumble upon some deep secret that he wasn't supposed to know about Darth Vader?
So you're saying that they're all that famous that they have their own Saturday morning cartoon show, but Chewbacca needs to get a ride home?
yeah, he's got
Yeah.
a bum ride with his friend.
That and by the way, who's making the cartoon right in the face of Darth Vader?
Yeah. Right.
Like, on Saturday, I'm gonna like, am I watching the
Yeah.
Rebel Alliance cartoon channel?
Maybe that's why this is. I think he's watching it on the thing that Art Carney gave him, right? So maybe it's
Like
here's that-
indoctrination?
or like here's that bootleg of that
Oh, yeah, but-
propaganda
yeah.
cartoon you're
Yeah.
not supposed to have.
Yeah.
But here,
So
come
wait
on.
a
Hides it
minute,
from
it
the
did.
officer.
So did this happen? And it's a retelling of a story in cartoon form?
This is the only connection Lumpy has with his dad. He gets like cartoons of his adventures.
Or was it like, did somebody make this? Is it fiction? Because,
Yeah, I don't
you
know.
love your dad and his friend, so I'm going to create a cartoon about how they went to Pana and they ran
But
into
somebody-
Boba Fett.
Somebody knows a lot about all of these people. Like whoever made it knew a lot
But
about each of
what
them.
is it broadcast
And they
on?
got the actual people to do the voices. So they got Luke Skywalker to
Han
do the voice of
Solo
Luke
had-
Skywalker.
Oh my God. There's no getting out of this. This is just like a wormhole eating its
It's the most
worm
meta
ass.
thing
Yeah.
imaginable.
It's like the Beatles, I guess. It's like, the Beatles are real people, but there's a cartoon about them and stuff. Or like the Harlem Globetrotters are real
Yeah.
people, but there's a cartoon about them.
Yeah. It is kind of like the Harlem Globetrotters.
Yeah.
But does C-3PO get royalties?
No, he'll get screwed. He's a droid.
That's true. But everybody else? Well, Chewbacca probably doesn't
But
get him
so
either, but
is
it
the
seems like
car-
everyone else
is
would
the
have to
I
do
mean, Leia probably gives her money right into the rebellion. She just, that's why she does it.
But is
to
the
make money
cartoon
for the
fiction
cause.
or nonfiction?
If it is pure fiction propaganda, then why did they invent a guy who actually exists
Yeah,
later
Boba
on,
Fett.
Boba Fett?
Yeah.
See, I can't. So I'm
No.
trying to imagine how you're directing or writing this scene.
hmm
You say, okay, so Lumpy needs to be distracted while they search his room.
And also, meanwhile, the producers have to find a place for this cartoon that George Lucas commissioned.
Yeah.
We got to shoehorn this into the thing somehow.
Yeah.
How can we kill two birds with one stone?
Lumpy's watching a cartoon about his father.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it
kids
starts
all-
off with his father looking like a bad guy.
Yeah, yeah. He and Han Solo are like not landing where they should. They're not. He's got like Han Solo like upside
Tied up.
down in the
Yeah,
on
he's
the
tied up and
cockpit
hanging
of the
upside down.
Falcon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is this the best? Is this the only Star Trek crossover in Star Wars?
Oh, what do you mean? Keep
Oh,
talking.
big time. How did you miss
The voiceover,
this? Yeah.
Starlog 324.
Yeah, how did you miss that?
Yeah.
From
Yeah.
the bridge of the cruiser Reekvange.
I will say this: it is a captain's log on Star Trek, but I did notice that they said Starlog, which is a fantastic magazine.
Good for you, Pete.
what's
You
also
and me.
cool about
I
this-
didn't. I thought it was Star Trek too.
Yeah, I did too.
You
Yeah.
both failed. No, but what's cool about this, like when they Luke and 3PO and R2 crash landing on a water planet, is exactly and being attacked by like a big water creature thing is exactly in like episode or issue 4 or 5 of like the original Star Wars Marvel comics.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's like that exact situation. I always think of that when I see
Wow.
this. And it's cool. And that cool thing that Boba Fett has, that weapon that he like zaps the thing with.
That cattle prod.
Yeah, that's part of the Mandalorian's outfit in the show The Mandalorian.
Wow.
So like little by
Wow.
little that show will like reference Life Day and stuff like that. And like they're doing what they can to make this whole thing canon, which
That's
I think
awesome.
is cool.
Well, Boba Fett's like, "Hi, friend.
Yeah. Hello, friend.
Yeah.
Hello, friend."
Nothing sinister about me.
It's just,
Well, at least he doesn't have an Australian accent.
Oh, thank God.
ugh.
But
But
so
is that how you
just
like? Is that would you meet somebody, especially if you're their arch nemesis? Would you be like, keep calling them friend?
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
Well, he's
Yeah.
trying to hoodwink them, but I feel like Luke is a very poor judge of character.
Oh, give me a break. He's the worst. This dude's like strong with the Force,
yeah.
Yeah.
and he's sitting there, and it's like, and
Yeah.
R2. How does R2D2 intercept a message from Boba Fett to Darth Vader? Like they don't even they don't have a
Right.
safe connection.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we should describe this so people know what we're talking about. So,
Oh, sure.
yeah, Han Solo and Chewbacca are looking for a mystical talisman, which has been sought by both the rebels and the Empire. And it starts with at a rebel base. You see the Millennium Falcon flying right towards the base, and they think it's going to crash into the base. And so Luke takes off in his X-wing to intercept the Falcon, and Chewbacca actually fires on Luke, but Luke realizes they're not trying to shoot them.
By the
And
way, hold
C-3PO
up.
asks-
That drives me nuts. And I think Luke has a Y-wing, doesn't he?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. He's in
It's
a
very
Y-wing.
cool.
But
yeah.
but
yeah.
that it's like Chewbacca's shooting at him, and he's like, Chewbacca's not that bad a shot. And then they just leave it alone. You're like, well, what is he doing?
Yeah.
Who's
Why is he
he
shooting him
like?
at
I
all?
think
Yeah.
is it because they're coming out of an asteroid field? Is he trying to clear away the asteroids?
Or I think he's trying to keep them away.
Yeah.
He's got that thing. You find out later the talisman is like infecting them with some sleep
The
disease or
sleep
something.
virus.
Well, here's
Yeah.
here's the interesting part. It infects humans with sleeping sickness,
Oh,
but
right.
Boba
right.
Fett's not affected.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, interesting.
That's fine with me. I don't need Boba Fett to be a
No,
human.
he doesn't need an Australian
Right.
accent. He doesn't need to.
He doesn't need to have
Yeah.
a dad named Django.
No.
No.
Doesn't need a story.
He's not an
No.
Doesn't need more than 3 lines.
No, this is his story. This is his backstory, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. He's not an Aquarius.
Yeah.
No.
That is super. Just outside of this episode and stuff, or this special, I do really I don't remember knowing who Boba Fett was going into The Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, I did.
I do remember like before the movie came out, there was like a big, like the Kenner action figures.
Yeah.
You save the proofs of purchase
Yeah.
and you can send away for this guy Boba Fett, and he seemed really cool and stuff. So we knew he was going to be in the movie, but I didn't remember seeing him in this.
I didn't
or,
either, but I always
Yeah.
thought I just knew him from that action figure. But
Right.
I bet
right.
we must have had some vague memory of him from this.
I
Yeah.
didn't from this, but I had him from the action figure. There was a hum in the universe
Yeah.
about
Right.
Boba Fett, and you knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they recalled it because it was it put kids' eyes out because originally it wasn't gonna shoot the
Oh yeah, that rocket.
Yeah.
the
out of his
rocket thing
back.
in the back. Yeah.
Although I've heard that that's a
urban-
Mandela effect thing. That
Oh,
it's
really?
Like they never actually put that out. They never
Oh
actually
yeah, maybe
released that
right. Yeah.
version,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure.
Yeah. I don't. For
Again,
some reason, I
we'll
always
get
thought they
letters.
made like 3 of them, and some lucky kid has like a third.
Just enough for one kid to get his eye shot. out.
Yeah.
Put your eye out, kid.
Oh my god! I just thought of something.
What?
Does C-3PO have his own breakfast cereal in the Star Wars universe?
Oh my god. Yeah, he probably does.
Like if
we
he's
have it
got his
on
own
Earth. He
cartoon.
must have it. Yeah.
Wow.
God. And do they each have like action figures of themselves and stuff? And like does Han Solo have like the Kenner Millennium Falcon like somewhere on the Falcon?
Yeah.
So
Although it's
Wow.
weird that
Han,
Itchy carves an X-wing for Lumpy.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
but Han Solo is a smuggler, but he's he's also a celebrity.
Yeah, this can't be
guess
good
so.
for keeping a low profile.
No.
Yeah. It's like the whole James Bond thing. Like if everybody knows you're a spy,
Yeah.
then what's the point?
Yeah, and they know what your car looks like.
And
and
he's
your
sitting there
license
like
plate
he's
number
like
and-
he tells Chewie like, I don't know, fly casual. And you're like, dude, you're in
Right.
the Millennium Falcon. You're,
Oh, actually, they weren't in the Millennium Falcon at that
that's
point,
true.
Jerry.
They
They were in the shuttle
weren't.
Tiberium.
That's true. They weren't.
3
I'm
points from
called
Jerry.
out. Yes, it's true. I deserve
So
that.
yeah. So I don't want to spoil too much of the cartoon because this is one part you might actually just want to watch if you haven't seen it. But it has a very we get a scene where Boba Fett we see he's double crossing everybody because C-3PO is like, R2, see if you can like tap into I don't know, somehow see if you can see what Boba Fett's doing.
Right.
And R2
Yeah.
does some things with the control panel, and all of a sudden you see inside the phone booth where Boba Fett's calling Darth Vader.
Inside the phone booth.
It is though. It is like a phone
Yeah,
booth, right?
no,
Like
it is. He's using genuine Bell.
Yeah.
Pana Bell.
You know why I think I like this cartoon? It looks a little bit like it's kind of trippy in a weird way, like Yellow Submarine.
It
Or
is.
something.
You know
It
what?
does.
I knew this would be your favorite part of this whole show.
It's just weird and cool. Like it's so removed from everything. It's like let's just do something weird with Star Wars, and it's got the voices and stuff. So it's like kind of legit, but it's also way not legit. Like it's just weird.
Yeah.
It's like too weird to actually be Star Wars. But you're like, okay, I'm gonna watch this. This is weird.
It reminds me
Yeah.
a lot.
Weird
It
Star
just
Wars.
reminds me a lot of like 9. Do 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 do.
Exactly. It's like a Sesame Street made a Star Wars cartoon.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
4,
Yeah.
5. It's just like, what the hell?
Sesame Street was brought to you by the letters TK and the number is 421.
So yeah, then at the end, they come back and they wake up Luke and Han, and everybody thinks that Boba Fett's a good guy, except Chewie. And then when R2 said, when C-3PO says, "Oh, R2 just saw Boba Fett talking to Han Solo on the phone, saying he wants to have us all lead him back to the base." And Boba Fett, the cartoon ends. It may be the most anticlimactic cartoon ending of all time. It ends with Boba Fett pointing his gun at everybody. And then he just basically says, "See ya, suckers," and shoots straight up in the air with his rocket pack.
Right.
And that's the end.
Everybody laughs and then leaves.
Yeah.
Oh my God. C-3PO laughs.
Yeah.
Do it, Tom. He goes like,
"I'm not gonna do it." Super weird.
It's so weird.
It's almost as weird as Han Solo's face in this cartoon.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's got this weird, huge, long,
Yeah.
eyeless face.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
He looks like he's I don't know, he's like a smushed up tough or something.
Yeah.
Yep. But we get a little break in the middle of the cartoon for some commercials. The first one's interesting. It's James Rock at the Pontiac engine plant for GM. And he says, "We're super critical on that line. We'll knock down engines for a bad paint job, and that's no jive, man." And he's like
Just lost half the audience.
70s was kind of a magical time.
Yeah. That's what it was
I didn't
like.
fully that sounded like just stupidity. I was like, well, you should
Yeah,
probably
like-
repaint it. It's not the end of the world if the engines were.
Right.
You know what I mean? I understand.
Or does it need to be repainted even? Like, just, it's okay if I have a, off color engine. It's fine.
Yeah. Not
Yeah.
the end of the world.
This needs to work.
So yeah, then we get commercial 2 where Marilyn Macula has switched from Duncan Hines yellow cake to Pillsbury yellow cake.
These slow motion zooms into like these housewives eating this cake.
Oh,
It
it's
sounds so disgusting. It's moist because it has pudding
Moist.
in the mix.
is that what
I
it,
remember
you know? And
that.
I wondered about that. Is cake supposed to be? I mean, I know it's not supposed to be dry, but do you sort of roam the earth looking for moist cake?
Yeah.
I feel like,
I guess you
but
do.
well, I think these commercials, paired moist and cake together, like
Mhm.
in perpetuity.
But it's
There's
Yeah.
like
weird
Duncan
because watching
Hines
this,
and moist and
Yeah.
like it's
but watching this in 2020, like I just think yellow cake. I think uranium.
What? Just
It's more like scratch.
That's such a weird line. She said
that is.
that.
That's a really,
Yeah.
really weird line. I just think like when do you use the word moist?
Moist.
Moist, moist, moist,
Creamy.
moist. No, I mean, you use it around cake, and you
Yeah.
use it like if you just swam in a swamp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're coming out,
moist.
then it's like 3 hours.
Duncan
later.
Hines is more humid than Pillsbury.
Yeah.
There was that one. There was like that frosting that they would like the ad would be like the woman cuts out a knife shaped thing out of like a paper plate, and it was like showing how just like immaterial the frosting was, that they could spread it with like this really thin paper knife. And it's like, is that a good thing? Like, is he gonna like adhere to the cake? I don't know.
It's kind of like it's like the truck. Yeah, it's filled with mercury, and that truck
Right.
will follow the cake spreading.
Yeah. Right. I mean, I guess you don't want to dry.
No,
cake.
I understand. That's what you get made fun of at the potluck.
Yeah, but you
It's
could
like-
you could go too far in the other
What
direction.
horrible, horrible person brought this dry cake?
Delicious. It's more like scratch.
But that's, I
Do you
mean,
want pudding in your cake?
See, that's the thing. Like they're in their quest to avoid a dry cake, then they're going to end up with like this just kind of like muddy kind of thing. Like, okay, what else? We'll put pudding in it. We'll put pudding
Yeah.
in the mix. It's not even like there's like the layer of pudding or anything. It's like part of the
Yeah.
makeup of the cake.
Maybe it was really good. I don't know. Maybe.
probably
well, there's
fantastic.
something
Really
very, it's so, Pete, is it appealing to watch these middle-aged, housewives slowly eat cake to their delight?
What's weird is that's the point of the episode. Like they're naming them and what to
Yeah.
learn from and stuff.
Yes.
Like, these are actual housewives.
Yes,
These
these are
not
real
alluring actresses or
people.
anything.
Yeah.
And that's what's so
Yeah.
interesting.
It's more like scratch.
As you said, Pete, it's so genuine. We have the
earnest.
guy on the line
Yeah.
who's working, and he's
Yeah.
going to be damned if somebody gets a speck off color on that engine. And then they give their names of what's her name again?
I don't know.
The first one's Marilyn Makala.
Yeah.
When you asked if I found that alluring, I was first wondering if you were asking if I had like a cougar fetish. And then I got really
Yeah.
sad because I realized that at our age, a cougar fetish, like the woman would be like 70 years old. Like we're older
probably
than most
older
of these
than all these
women in this
Yeah.
commercial.
Oh man. What happened if you like Google these people? What if you Googled
I
Jane
Googled James
Trahan
Rock.
from Scottsboro, Alabama?
I did Google James Rock from the Pontiac engine plant, but
You
that's
did?
no
That's
Jive
awesome.
Man guy, but I couldn't find
How's he
anything.
doing?
Nope, no
Damn
hits.
it.
Yeah.
What about Pat Lundquist from Shawnee Mission, Kansas? How's she doing? How's her cake? And then Linda Sutter from Norcross, Georgia. It's just like scratch.
Oh, you know what's
That's
interesting?
the most unappealing sentence. You're talking about moist cake and pudding in the mix. It's just like scratch. Scratch.
And then you live in a town.
Yeah.
Well, your last name is Lundquist.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
what's interesting? It's very, very interesting.
Sorry, all the Lundquists out there.
No one is from New York City.
Right,
Yeah, no one is.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one, because
No one's from,
you know what? They don't know about cake in New York City.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like
supermodels from Los Angeles don't know anything about cake.
Yeah. Well, it's like that. Was that ad from the 70s or the 80s? The New York City, where the guys are eating salsa. It's like Old El Paso
yeah,
or something.
yeah.
And
Oh, that's funny.
I do remember that.
then we get
Man.
commercial 3 where Ma makes Hungry Jack some Hungry Jack biscuits.
Yeah.
Oh no,
I fully remember this
I do
commercial.
too.
Yeah, I do
This
too.
whole line of commercials, yeah.
I have a mountain of questions about this one. This is my favorite commercial, by the way. First of all,
Oh, nice.
what is the Hungry Jack Mrs. Jack relationship? Because
He calls her Ma.
That's her boy, right? That's his ma. Yeah.
Although maybe that figuratively.
So wait a minute.
Oh,
How that
okay.
was it a
I'm scared.
C-section?
Instead of a sugar daddy, she's like a biscuit ma.
Oh no, she's just my biscuit mom.
No. Well, I wanted. Is this?
So you're assuming he was born with that girth?
Yeah, like I mean, I don't know a C. I don't know, like it would have to be like a U section.
Yeah.
You section.
I'm wondering, is that her?
She'd be
Is
despairing.
that her?
Like, how's she supposed to like provide for him? Like,
Oh, it'd be
she seems so
it'd
happy
be
and so
exhausting.
excited about.
Well,
Yeah.
did she name him after the biscuits?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So wait,
Yeah,
I'm
I guess
still.
so.
So this is her son.
Yes, there's her human child.
That's weird. I'm not saying it would be.
It is
Weird. I
really
mean, it would be weird if this was her. If this was her husband. I mean, it's not a wedding night I want to see. but but it's weird if this is really weird if this is her son. Because you're right. Did
Yeah.
she name him after the biscuits, or did he just eat the biscuits and then grew into that size because
Oh,
the biscuits
maybe.
are so fortified?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do you get those boots and that belt?
Is this a Jack
Gunny
and the
sack.
Beanstalk reference?
Yeah, I think it is.
You know what's amazing though? This commercial is working on me so much. I badly want one of these biscuits.
Oh,
right
they look
now.
great. Yeah.
There's a time lapse thing of them like cooking in the oven
Yeah.
and stuff. And
Yeah.
I used to have these things all the time.
Yeah.
These and like the Pillsbury ones.
Yeah, me too.
And like if no one's looking, you eat some of the dough just
Oh,
raw.
sure.
Yeah,
sure.
that's the
You're like,
best.
this is kind of gross,
Yeah.
but this is
Well,
fantastic.
what isn't
Yeah.
he doing something? Isn't Hungry Jack doing something like is he gardening or something like that?
It's like a lumberjack or something, isn't he? Or he's like building a dam or murdering a deer or something.
I don't know.
And is he friends
Fighting a
with the
Yeti.
Jolly Green Giant?
Yeah. Yeah, you got two of the basic food groups battling it out.
And then she looks at me and she's like, "'Cause I know you have one of your own."
Oh wait, I do?
Yeah, well, I know I
What?
don't. I'm not stupid. I didn't set my life up like that. Where all I have to do is slave over biscuits every day just so I can provide for my.
I have to buy 5 tubes of this Hungry Jack stuff just to serve one
Just
meal
to
to this guy.
one meal to my offspring.
And you get the impression that's all he eats.
Yeah.
There's no like meat, no vegetables,
right.
no protein of any kind.
That's pretty amazing though
Yeah.
when you think about like that small tube. Like if you ate popcorn that filled that small tube, you would be starving. But if you eat that small tube full of biscuits, you couldn't do it like that, other than if you're this giant Hungry Jack
Yeah.
guy.
Or if you did, you'd never poop again. But that's okay. You're full.
So
That's crazy.
then we get to my favorite part of all of this is the
Yeah.
CBS News break with Marlene Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to read this verbatim what she says here because it's amazing. And this is, remember, this
Yeah.
is a show for kids and family. So she comes in with a news break. Soviet President Brezhnev told 12 U.S. senators that the Soviet Union once tested a neutron bomb but never put it into production. That's the bomb that kills people but leaves buildings standing. In other news, William Campilas has been convicted of selling top secret materials to the Russians.
Oh my gosh.
Nothing is safe, kids.
Yeah.
She does end it on a light note, though. Like
She does.
it was some 9 months ago when the blizzard of 78 hit New England, and the medical community predicted this would be a busy time for the maternity wards. But it hasn't happened. One nurse said most of the men must have been out shoveling snow.
Hey!
That's kind of a
awesome.
feel bad story.
Well, maybe they enjoyed the
You know
break,
what I
don't know.
can't figure out is why when newscasters are done, they look down
They
and
write
they
on the
start
page.
writing on
They
the
start
page. It
writing.
drives me nuts.
I think she's writing, I'm done.
Yeah.
I quit.
Did it. I nailed
Yep.
it once again. Have they faded yet? Am I out?
That's so scary, though. That's the bomb that kills people but leaves buildings standing.
Yeah. And now that you've had a nightmare, nothing is safe. Your country's secrets are being sold to your enemies.
Heck,
And people have sex and then they have babies, but sometimes they don't.
yeah, you would know worse. You would think that the one time they would. They
Yeah.
don't
Right,
even.
people have nothing to
yeah, they're
do.
not.
But be close
There's-
to each other. They choose to do labor instead.
There's no conjugal bliss.
Is
Yeah.
this a euphemism, though? The men were all out shoveling snow.
See, I think
What?
this might. There's a tie-in here with that little thing that Art Carney brought over,
Oh God.
and you're like, that's kind of the
Shoveling
problem.
snow.
Yeah.
And shoveler.
Or is that like cocaine?
Yeah.
Shoveling
Maybe.
snow.
So then we
This,
get
this reminds me of this news break. There's like, I think this version that we saw on YouTube has like one of these super quick little like local things, like, you know, what's
Yeah,
gonna be
it's like
whatever the thing, whatever.
Baltimore, whatever TV
Yeah.
station. Yeah.
But like in New York, the one that I had, it cut to like the local CBS guy, and I think it did it like twice during the show, and it was just like fighting the Frizzies at 11. And it was like just like this thing. Like that was the copy that I had. I think it was like the first copy that I got in the 90s, fighting the Frizzies at 11. And like decades later, on South Park, on one of their Christmas episodes, like they kept cutting to a live action guy saying fighting the Frizzies at 11. And you're like, oh, this is the best show in the entire world, that they would devote so much energy to a joke that maybe 20 people will get across the country. That is so
That's
awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and speaking of jokes that maybe 20 people will get across the country, the next ad is for Bobby Vinton's Rock and Rollers.
Holy smokes. That looks like a party.
Wow.
It's like grease on wheels.
Oh.
That's all we need.
And I think, what do they say? It's from the producers of Dottie and Marie.
Yeah. 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 We see like Laverne is there and Eric Estrada and I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, people would like say, oh, Bobby Vinton's Rock and Rollers is on. Turn it on. We missed the beginning. Hurry up. Bring in the TV tray.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of the 70s. One of the nice things was, though, that, you know, no matter what time you got home for work or turn on the TV, it wasn't that hard to catch up.
Wow.
Right. I've lost the thread of this variety show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's Mac Davis supposed to be in this one?
Then we get an ad for Richard Burton and Roger Moore and the Wild Geese, which I've never even heard of.
I've literally heard of it, but I've never seen it or
Mm.
almost seen it. Yeah, it's just one of those 70s war tough guy movies.
Okay. And then we have an ad with a large bald man with a mustache steps on a scale, and he drops his towel when he sees how much he weighs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And he decides he wants to lose some weight. And so the next scene, he's sitting down eating an enormous sandwich,
Mm-hmm.
and he's reading the legendary consumer catalog from Pueblo, Colorado.
I don't know what the consumer
Really?
catalog from Pueblo, Colorado is.
Oh man, maybe because I grew up around Colorado, but it was always there were always these ads, and you would mail away for the consumer catalog, and the address was always just Pueblo, Colorado, blah blah blah,
Wow.
whatever the zip code was, and it was a list of free things you could get from the government.
Oh,
Like
wow.
it was a list of free books. So like this guy, the guy on the scale looks in the consumer catalog, and he finds a free publication about how to lose weight, and so he writes away for it, and they send it to him.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. The 70s are magical.
Yep.
Oh, the show's back.
Yeah, we're back to the Falcon. Oh no, we're not. Sorry.
Oh no, we're back
that's still
with
in the-
the second
Yeah.
part of the cartoon. Yeah.
Yeah, but then
Which we already finished,
I think
but
we already
yeah.
finished. Yeah. And
Yeah,
with
the
C-3PO
Imperial
doing-
officer doesn't discover the secret about Darth Vader that Lumpy is watching on a
Yep.
cartoon.
But speaking of poor Lumpy, the stormtroopers go up to his room, and then the guy with the hat rips the head off of his stuffed bantha.
Yeah.
So why does he do
And
it?
Just to be a jerk.
Yeah.
Is that the only reason? So
It's to get us to not like the Empire.
and our stormtroopers, he's just because that's just the military, right? That's just
Yeah.
supposed to be
Mhm.
the army. I mean, so is it, that guy's just, whatever.
Right.
This is another little moment of sort of sad tragedy pathos here, though.
Yeah.
When Lumpy comes up to the room and sees that this has happened. Like
Yeah.
the Imperial
Yeah.
officer says, "Go clean up your room," and he goes up there and he starts crying when he sees the ripped apart bantha, and he puts it in his bed, and like carefully puts the head on the body and then covers it up with his blanket.
You know what's awful? It's awful, like when you have to watch something, that's innocent and also can't speak, or you can't understand,
Yeah.
and it's in
Yeah.
pain. And
It's like watching a sad dog.
exactly.
Or
It's
something.
it's like crying or distraught, or
Yeah.
and you can't, you can't. That's really weird on this holiday special.
Right.
Yep. And then he decides to put together the present that Art Carney brought him, and it's a it sort of looks like a light bright, but it's like a TV screen you can build. It's like a transmitter you can build, and you use it to see this race of aliens called Amorphia, whose motor abilities are frequently impaired by malfunctions and cause a
Mhm.
temporary loss of power.
That sounds funny.
Yeah, it sounds hilarious. And so this whole
Yeah.
skit is a skit, whatever you call it, is Lumpy's trying to put together this communicator,
Yeah.
and the instructions are being given by Harvey Korman, who keeps running out of energy
Mm-hmm.
and having to like wind
that's what,
himself back
like
up.
30, 45 seconds and then they move on, I'm guessing.
It's like 9 minutes. I don't-
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is so weird. I didn't understand any of this. I just didn't understand it. And I didn't I'm like, he's putting this together for what?
Yeah, I thought he was just putting it
I
together
don't
to
know.
watch Art Carney, but we learned later that he was doing more with it. It does
Yeah.
more.
He's got something up his sleeve.
Yeah. But fortunately, something else is up the sleeve, and we're saved by some more commercials.
Yay.
And the first one is for Tobor. Do you remember Tobor?
I had Tobor.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, I did. I literally had Tobor. Yeah,
Wow.
robot spelled backwards, man. They say it right in the commercial.
Yeah.
I'm
Yep.
too stupid to
The
figure it out.
Telesonic robot.
And everything you see it do in this commercial is all it does. It goes forwards, it spins around if you're lucky, And if you aim it just right and you never do, it'll pick up that thing when it
That
goes
suitcase thing.
And
Yeah.
so now you lived in this time, and I did too.
by. I
So I'm
did.
imagining you're like, Mom, can you please get out of the kitchen? I got my
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get Tobor and bring him down. And then what you
Yeah.
do is you put this little, what was it, a telecommuter? What is the thing that he picks up?
It's
Like,
like
the power
Yeah,
backup.
so
Yeah,
like you
that's
put
something,
that
yeah.
like
Cube.
15 feet away, and you're like, watch
Mhm.
this.
And then if you're successful, you're like, now I'm gonna go do my homework.
Yeah.
did any kid on Earth ever play with Tobor or the Kenner tracker more than once?
See, that's the thing. You're like, oh, great. It's like I think I got it for Christmas.
Mhm.
Probably because I saw the ad in this on this show, and I was like, oh, I need to have Tobor. I guess the people on TV said I need Tobor, and I got it for Christmas. And I remember like playing with him. Like, okay,
Yeah,
all right.
sure.
What else? What else you
Yep.
got?
Yep. I'll tell you what else we got. A new Revlon blush called Cream On Blush.
Wow. This was
Even the commercials are filthy.
this one looked a lot like kind of like Girls on Film or Rio, like Duran
was gonna-
Duran. It
It
Mhm.
feels like we leapt
Yeah.
ahead like 5 years or
It
something.
does.
into
Yeah.
the early
It
80s.
does. Yeah.
goes to show
Yeah.
you how forward thinking Revlon was.
Yeah, Revlon. Well, they're one of the only
Yeah.
of these companies still around.
Well, what's interesting is like this is like the first like glamorous
Yeah.
images we've seen in this
Yeah, it
entire
is,
show, except
yeah.
for Diane Carroll. Like all the
Yeah.
commercials are very, just regular Joes and
Yeah.
housewives and stuff. And this is like the first like outright glamour stuff.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's way ahead of its time.
Yeah.
It's alluring.
Yep.
And then there's that bald eagle.
Oh my god.
That's the most amazing part of this whole experiment.
Yeah. This is like a super libertarian commercial. Like, it's for Whirlpool. And they
Yeah, but you don't find that out for like 7 minutes.
no, they
It's
talk
just
about
you're
how,
watching this eagle just fly around in its natural habitat, picking up fish.
Yep. In this
slapping
country,
communists.
we used to
Yeah.
do things the right way. We had a simple idea to do things to the best of our ability. And this wasn't dictated by some government agency.
Oh boy.
Is that what it
It's really
says?
funny. Those aren't the exact words, but it's something like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I found it somewhat stirring at the end because
He uses the word slipshod.
they leave you with a really good note at the end. They're like, they said it was something like, if we didn't do it right, we wouldn't bother at all. It's something,
Right.
yeah.
Well, then
it's
at the very end, it says, if we can't keep this feeling alive, then we are the endangered species.
that's right.
And by the way, is there a bigger poster child for things not being made well anymore that are going to crap
I
out
know,
as soon as you
dude.
buy them than like washing machines and dryers and stuff? All this Whirlpool stuff?
Yeah.
Those are the things where you're like, oh, if you have one that's like still from like if that 30-year-old machine, hold on to it with your dear life. Like that, you'll never get another machine like that
that's
again.
what's
Fix
so
it, put as much money as
interesting
you
about
Well,
American society is like my grandma had a Hoover vacuum, and the
Mhm.
Hoover vacuum, I mean, I think it was from the 1940s, and it
Right.
still
Yeah.
ran in the 80s.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, my grandma that I grew up with a lot of my childhood, all of their appliances were GE appliances from the 30s and 40s.
Wow.
And they were still using them. Like she was still alive in like maybe 2001, 2002. And she wrote to GE and said, I have these 70-year-old appliances that are working absolutely perfectly. And they wrote back like this really perfunctory thing, like, you should check out our new appliances. And I was like, I don't actually think they like that because she's gone
Yeah.
like 70 years without buying 8 or 9 washing machines.
Yeah, step it up, lady.
Yeah. And then back to the show.
Oh, great.
This is my favorite part of the show. This is, I think, wonderful. It's this male voice comes over the speaker and it says everybody has to pay attention and watch this video, and like all the guard, all the stormtroopers come over and watch it. And this announcer comes on, and we see these cutscenes of like various things happening in front of the cantina, like the streets of
Mhm.
Mos Eisley. And she says, "Time now for life on Tatooine, brought to viewers everywhere in the hope that our own lives may be uplifted by the comparison and enriched with the gratitude of relief."
That's
That's
amazing.
It's incredible.
nuts.
It is really nuts.
And then she says, "This transmission is unrehearsed and unedited and is hereby begun without any further comment as to its lack of moral value."
Yeah, what the hell's going on?
And then
It's so
it's
weird.
Yeah, then it's like a 15-minute scene of the inside of the cantina.
Yeah.
So are they saying, like, is this sort of a take like, so now, voyeuristically, we're going to
Mhm.
show you, the Mos Eisley spaceport, wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Is that what
maybe.
it's about? Like, without
I think so,
moral?
guess.
yeah. Yeah, these are the bad guys. Like, this is the
Yeah, we're
kinda
gonna show you.
yeah.
It's basically reality TV.
Yeah.
It's like Real
Yeah.
Wife Housewives of Tatooine or whatever.
But
It's like they're trying to connect to Star Wars, but they do it in a way that they guarantees that no
Yeah.
kid will understand what they're talking about.
Yeah. And Han Solo's got to be feeling weird. Like, every part of his life is on display for the whole galaxy to watch.
Well, so
Yeah.
does
Oh, wait,
Tatooine
I
know
hang out in that
that?
place.
They don't seem to know that they're on TV in the cantina, or they don't. At least they don't care.
This is one of the
Yeah.
weirdest things. This makes no sense.
Yeah.
So we're gonna show you how nuts and crappy life on Tatooine is, so you can feel better.
Yes.
I guess.
Feel the gratitude of relief.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, what they show you is Walrus Man alive and well, dancing to the Cantina band. So what's
He's
what's
got-
wrong with that? How's
He's-
that immoral?
Did you notice something weird about Walrus Man?
What?
He has both limbs and he has different hands.
He does.
Yeah.
He's got a head.
Yeah. This has
That
to
is
be
weird.
a big break for the Cantina band, though. Like, talk about exposure.
Yeah, it's
Like,
true.
if everyone in the
Yeah.
galaxy is
True.
watching you. But we get an answer to a question we were asking a couple weeks ago. That sound, we were wondering, does the door make that sound when the droids walk in, or is that guy with
Yeah.
the tongue sticking out make the sound? And it's the guy with the tongue sticking out because he makes it in this.
Oh my God, you're right. I didn't even think of that. That's amazing. Gosh, that's weird.
This,
I don't like learning about Star Wars from this show,
no.
but okay.
This is, what this is like. For a day, you had the key to the Star Wars costume.
It's
factory.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, for a day, you get to do whatever you want with all the Star Wars costumes. And then you do, and you realize, like, maybe about 15 minutes, after the, oh my God, it's Walrus Man, and oh my God, it's Hammerhead, you go, this isn't turning out the way that I had hoped. I don't know what the difference is, but it's not as fun when I
There's
do it.
something
Yeah,
off.
it's
Yeah.
not as,
Yeah.
I'm sitting here in the midst of, like, it's like a dream come true. Where I'm with I got Walrus
It's
Man.
the fever dream.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you're like, but
Yeah.
something about this feels sickening.
Is this what they mean by don't meet your heroes?
Yeah, it's just like
And it's the exact same crowd that was at the cantina when Luke went
Yeah.
in. It was because since it's the same costumes, like the devil guy.
Everybody's-
I don't think the Wolfman's there. I didn't see the
Oh,
Wolf.
Yeah,
I
the
don't-
Wolfman.
I was
no,
disappointed.
the Wolfman. Well, there's a version of a Wolfman there.
Oh, that's true. It looks
Yeah.
like.
There's a wolfish kind of guy,
Yeah.
yeah, but I don't think that's our
He's
buddy.
kind of.
But they said that when they were filming this, they forgot to pump oxygen into the masks like they did when they filmed the movie.
Oh God.
And so people they had to take breaks every few minutes because they were filming in LA during the summer.
Oh, really?
Oh boy.
Yeah. And I think everything just went wrong when they were trying to make this.
This isn't the
don't say.
cantina. It's supposed to be the cantina, but it's not the actual set of the cantina, is it?
No, it's not the
No.
actual set.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's supposed to be the cantina.
It is.
it?
It is because the outside is the scene from in front of the Mos
Oh, I
Eisley.
guess
And
so,
they say
you're right.
life on Tatooine.
But
Yeah,
what's
but
weird?
couldn't it be like a different town?
Yeah, but with
even?
all the
I
same,
don't
with
know.
Snaggletooth, well, we don't have Greedo. We have,
Lumbo, what's it?
Ludlow.
Ludlow.
God, that
Oh my God.
sucks. We don't have, there's like any, it's Greedo, but it's Ludlow.
Mhm. Sure. Ludlow.
Yep.
God, it's
I don't see the
weird.
problem.
And they've evidently fallen on hard times because they don't have the IG-88 tap anymore. She has a
No.
red Kool-Aid or a red Tupperware pitcher
Right.
and just pours stuff into people's cups.
Yeah.
And there's Snaggletooth in there too.
Yeah. The devil guy's there.
Yeah.
All
Hammerhead.
your favorite weirdos.
Then of course there's
Yep.
an enormous rat.
I love the rat so much.
That is really weird.
And he hugs her. He,
You know what? So
nuzzles her head.
That's a womp rat.
Oh, I guess so.
Oh, that
Now we know.
sucks. That sucks. So Luke just goes out and kills those adorable,
Oh, I
Yeah.
love I
giant,
just,
lovable
sentient
creatures.
that was
creatures.
Pete's favorite part. I just destroyed it.
Oh my god. But yeah, Harvey Korman is mooning over B. Arthur.
And we're watching
Yeah, he's
it.
in love with her. Yeah,
Yeah.
We're watching it in real. Everybody's
This is what the
watching
Empire told everybody they had to
Yeah.
watch.
Harvey Korman.
it. Yeah, in
Getting
love with the
drinks poured into
bartender
the
who's
hole in
B.
his
Arthur.
head.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and she doesn't even know who he is
Mm-hmm.
because she said 6 magic words to him when he
Oh,
came
yeah.
in. Like, what were they? Were like,
It's like
"Come back soon, I'll be waiting."
yeah, something like that.
And he said he's been thinking of those words every day for the last however long he's been gone. But then he
It's
hears her-
bittersweet.
Yeah. And he drowns his sorrows by pouring the drinks into his head and like literally like the top of his
Yeah.
head. But then
Yeah.
the Empire comes. Well, first we see like she shoots him down
Yeah.
and
Breaks his heart.
it's-
breaks his
you
heart.
see his heart breaking live on TV. Like everyone in the galaxy.
The galaxy is watching.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the gratitude of relief.
But then the Empire breaks in and said there's a curfew and everybody has to go home immediately. And everybody refuses to go home.
Which, okay, by the way, the treatment of that, even if I even just ignore all this other stuff and I'm fully immersed in this bizarro world,
Mm-hmm.
this next little minute is so awkward and incoherent. They're like, oh, there's a curfew. And she's like, what about you, Ludlow? You're going to turn your back on
Yeah.
me?
I loaned
Yeah.
you money.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
It's like,
Are you trying to get rid of me? Do you want me to
What the
leave? Or do
hell?
you want me to stay and buy another? I don't know what I
No, I think she's trying to get. She says, "Please do me a favor and leave."
yeah.
And he's so
right, but the way
ashamed,
she
he, like,
phrases
turns
it to
his
people
head.
is super weird.
It's
Yeah.
real. She's not just like,
Yeah.
all right, everybody, you heard it. We got to go. Everybody
Yeah.
out. And she doesn't have like a bouncer or something come in. It just,
No, she has.
She
tells
does
him
have
not to do
torque.
anything.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
But there's,
and then she goes to the door, and it's the devil guy, and she goes, "You can't come in. We're closed." And he's a regular, like we've seen him there before,
Right.
and he points a gun at her.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like pleading with them,
Yeah.
but in a way that's so bizarre. She's like, you're going to turn your back on me?
Right.
It's really,
Marion just told everybody to get out. She
Yeah.
had Mohan shove them all out the door.
Yeah.
She knew how to do it.
But
Hold
then
on.
she gets the bright idea that she's going to get everybody to leave by singing a song.
Yeah.
And
She
I
gives
I
them more drinks. and
love this
sings.
song. Like if I'm feeling sad, sometimes I'll just turn on this song. Or like I'll turn on just this video, and I love it. It makes me laugh and cheer up every single time.
Yeah.
it's like, I mean, is it me or is it like just a crazy space cat, like cabaret? Like
Yeah.
Joel Grey and Cabaret, like
Right.
Yeah, set
And
to
they keep
the-
trying to work in the cantina theme a
Yeah,
little bit.
Yeah.
it's built
Yeah.
over the cantina theme. Yeah,
Yeah.
God.
And then at the end, like we talked, I forget what one it was like, I don't know, during Temple of Doom or something. We were talking about like sad versions of any song, like the A-Team or something.
Yeah.
You got like the sad
Yeah.
version of the Cantina song.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah, the way she gets everyone to leave is she sings a song and starts a conga line.
God, there is a giant rat. This
Yep.
is effed up.
And then finally she gets everybody out and turns around, and Krellman is still standing there at the bar. And
Yeah.
do they bang?
I guess. I mean, they finally cut away.
Yeah.
God.
He gives her a flower, right? And that's the
when
whole.
he comes
yeah.
in. Yeah.
And that's the whole.
Yeah, that's where. Why did the Empire cut it off right there?
I don't know.
Wow.
It's some propriety, I guess. Maybe they saw what was going to happen.
Or they think,
like,
this is
no,
going to
no,
be
no, no."
heartwarming, and people are going to think, oh,
Yeah, no, we don't want people to know
Yeah.
there's hope and love in the universe.
Yeah.
I think she was surprised, genuinely surprised by the token flower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this is interrupted by the Imperial officer's comlink beeps, and he's ordered to return to base.
He's ordered to pull out the 5-foot antenna on his communicator.
His little walkie-talkie, like the
Yeah.
really thin, like flimsy antenna. So yeah, he orders one of the stormtroopers to stay, and then they all return to base. And you think, oh, he got recalled, and then all of a sudden you hear up from Lumpy's room, return to base, and you realize he's using the present he got from Art Carney to trick the guy by sending this message.
Yeah. He's a clever little lump.
Yep. And then now the stormtrooper's pissed, and this ends with the stormtrooper walking up the stairs and towering over poor Lumpy.
Oh no, what's going to happen?
Dun 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 dun.
Please
dun.
don't hurt Lumpy. Please don't hurt Lumpy while I watch.
I'll tell you what's going to happen. Sue has a headache,
Yeah.
and her friend encourages her to use Anison.
Yeah, we're back to Anison.
Yep. And
They
then we
even make that anymore? I remember Anison, but I don't think it's
I'm not
around
sure
anymore.
actually. Yeah. And then we
I
learned
could
that
use some after the show, but
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh wow.
probably some woolite. A second look deserves woolite.
Yeah.
Oh, here you go.
And then,
The formula for Anison, for example, is now just aspirin and caffeine. Mainly aspirin, according to the latest handbook of non-prescription drugs. But many substitutions have been
Oh,
made
wow.
only recently or just being planned to. Huh.
Nice.
that's good. I mean, because caffeine is great for migraines.
Yeah.
So that's that.
Mm.
They were ahead of their time. They call it a headache pill too, don't they?
Yeah.
It's not like they don't call it like a pain reliever.
It's not a pain reliever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a headache pill.
Yeah.
It's an ache reliever.
Yep. And then we get commercial 3. Now I've got real panties in my pantyhose.
Yeah, man.
What?
I mean, yes. The 70s were full of ads like this that
Yeah.
were like underalls and stuff, and like
Yeah.
Nair for short shorts and stuff. You're like, well, you know what we're talking about, and we're basically showing you what we're talking about, but we're going to be a little cute
Yeah.
about it, so nobody gets
Yeah.
mad at us.
There's a
Yeah.
there's something. Oh wow! It's like everybody's clean.
Yeah, like this
Yeah.
commercial is just about butts.
Yeah.
Like their butts are shaking and they're kind of touching
Can I
butts.
ask
and,
you
Yeah.
know, Tommy? Can you explain? I never figured this out. What do pantyhose do?
Is it just the idea that it's like, okay, pantyhose are like the 2-legged thing, and it's got like the actual panties and everything and stuff. It's all one unit as opposed to like, I don't know, hose that just go up and you have to wear garters or something. I don't know. I don't know how any of this works. But I think the point, it's supposed to make the legs look nice and like
tan.
I don't know.
Or not. You're not bare-legged.
I guess, yeah, you're not bare-legged, and like, yeah, any blemishes that you might have on your leg or something wouldn't be shown or something. And
That was the carryover from like the 30s and 40s too. Like it was indecent to be bare-legged.
Is that
guess
see?
so.
And there's, I just don't know what they do. I know some women. I should ask. I mean, I don't like what.
should.
Like, when would you wear pantyhose versus when you wouldn't wear pantyhose?
I don't think you would anymore. Like, do people
That's
even do
what's
that
so
anymore? Do they even
weird.
wear
How do
them?
people?
Yeah.
I mean, we
Yeah.
have leggings.
Is sheer indulgence still around? It's sheer
Might be.
indulgence.
Was it supposed to
right.
make?
Yeah.
Did it cover up your legs to make your legs look sleek and smooth? Or,
I think so. I think that was part of it. Like just, or like, just uniformly tight, blemish free.
yeah,
or,
like
just
your
smooth
legs are
and-
disgusting.
yeah,
but if
you've got
yeah.
like shaving nicks and things and bruises and whatever, and
There's-
yeah, who needs
Who
that?
needs that? Put on these. Yeah.
Every hit on the first page of Google for sheer indulgence pantyhose is for this ad or for ads in the 80s.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
They didn't make
It might not be around anymore.
Yeah. I remember. Yeah.
Okay, I have a question for Jerry, though.
Yeah, good.
And take this seriously, Jerry. I want you to think about this before you answer. How would you describe the ratio of egg in the middle of a muffin to the actual substance of an Egg McMuffin?
You know what's funny? I actually had an Egg McMuffin today.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I did. I had a sausage and Egg McMuffin.
That counts.
Yeah, that's...
Wow.
They got this ad where these guys are pretending to have a really hard time with this
Yeah, they're trying
Well,
to say
sort
the
of like
slogan.
nothing
It's
tongue
supposed to
twister.
be a
There's
tongue
more in the
twister.
middle of an Egg McMuffin than an egg in the middle of a muffin.
See, you did that beautifully
Yeah.
on one try.
And what's interesting about
Oh,
it,
but they have fun.
there's these older men.
They seem a little maybe drunk. They're like out
I feel
Maybe
like
fishing.
they're-
there's something.
They're getting back from or going on or fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like the guy be like, "There's more in the middle of an Egg McMuffin than a muffin
Oh.
Yeah.
than an egg."
I had this earlier.
Right.
And this is the same kind of thing as a lot of the holidays. But like, are people watching this commercial and just cracking up that these
I'm
guys?
like, oh my
Some
gosh,
guys
can you
like
do it? I
me.
can't do it. And you're like, hang on, let me finish my game of jacks first. It's just kind of
What's-
it's like this is what accomplished, successful, outdoorsy type men do. When they
Yeah.
when they need some jollity.
This
Yeah,
makes me feel better about myself because I'm a little bit stupid and I can't necessarily say things, but I enjoy an Egg McMuffin.
They really
so I
ran
guess
with this,
I
though.
could be on TV.
because they did the same thing. Remember the
They-
two all beef patties special sauce,
and everybody, and it
cheese?
came out of like what appeared to be like either hand jive games or jump rope games.
Yeah,
Right? It was like two
yeah,
all beef
yeah.
patty special sauce, and it's like that was huge.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like,
We had fun.
yeah, but it's interesting that they have these men who are struggling with all the stuff from the 70s and from the 70s. It's very gender specific and it's like
Yeah.
Yeah.
the females are definitely females and we know what they're doing. It's like you got Hungry Ma and
Right.
Yeah.
you got
And,
like Miss Lundquist.
Yeah. The yellow
Yeah.
cake.
This medicine cabinet.
Yeah, the meta, and then like the men are like guys.
Yeah. But they're amiable guys.
Yeah.
They're
Or
just
dumb
like you
guys.
and me.
Yeah.
I'd like to have a beer with them. A beer and an Egg
Yeah.
McMuffin.
It's
Yeah.
like George down the street.
But
Yeah.
but suddenly we are rocketed into another direction with an ad for Flying High.
Flying
Up
high.
next, when the girls take it off and Pam has a great layover.
What did they mean?
Wow.
She's laying on a bed. What does that mean? But a layover is like what an airplane does.
I've never heard of Flying High. Did you?
I
haven't
haven't either.
I want to watch every episode though,
I
based
know.
on this commercial.
I suspect there weren't very many of them.
I
We
feel
probably
like-
get them
It
pretty
looks like it
quickly.
is about a trio of plucky stewardesses.
Yeah.
In 1978.
And that's what they were called. They weren't flight
No,
attendants
they're
then. They were
stewardesses.
Oh,
I
right,
feel
yeah,
like
yeah.
it's the sort of thing I'm supposed to be like, dear Flying High. An interesting thing happened to me at the donut shop.
Exactly.
I found
Yeah.
a buxom woman
Right.
behind the counter, and she. I have a fondness for Zaftig
Yeah.
women.
Now I got my cinnamon in a twist.
Yeah.
And how do I...
She invited me back to where they make the donuts. No, I mean that's what it feels like. It actually blew my mind because they're like, the girls take it off and like she throws open, is it a jacket or a towel or something?
Or she takes off like a skirt and she's got like a long skirt and she's got like hot pants on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like roller derby.
And that happens twice in this
Yeah.
commercial.
The last one's the male flight attendant.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Is that Lyle Wagner from Wonder
know.
Woman?
I don't know.
I think it
I'll
is.
tell you this, it's
Oh,
very it's all that like kind of Three's Company and
Yeah.
innuendo and like a great
Yeah.
layover.
Yeah.
You're like, oh,
I get it.
But that's what I was talking about. I can't stand arousing talk and nothing happens. I guarantee.
It's like they can make all those
Yeah.
innuendos, but they can't come out and say we're talking about sex.
Yeah.
And,
Or not
and,
like
maybe
no
this
one
woman
has
sex with her
sex.
boyfriend.
No one has sex.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't have sex on
Yeah.
the show. Like they go and they go roller skating
Right.
instead of coitus.
Yeah.
Coitus.
Are you suffering from coitus?
Now I remember
Talk
from
to your
our own
doctor if
show
you're
4 years
experiencing
ago,
coitus.
If there's one thing I learned from this podcast, coitus. Coitus is a whole different inflammation.
Yeah, really. I've never seen The Wiz.
No, but a lot of people are really excited about it.
Yeah.
These people seem to think
Yep.
that I should really see it.
Yep.
It looks like I would be terrified of The Wiz. I think.
Yeah, I saw
I need
The
to
Wiz
see
was
it.
on Showtime for
I
a
liked them.
while.
I liked it as a kid. I love the
Maybe
music
it was
to it.
HBO.
Yeah.
I was not drawn in by The Wiz.
Mhm.
Yeah,
No.
I'm.
It's Sidney Lumet, which is bizarre.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's Diana Ross and I believe and Michael Jackson, right?
Yeah. Ease on down the road.
Yeah, I
Remember
mean,
Ease on down the
Sure.
road?
he's on down the road.
Yeah.
I think Richard Pryor is in it. Maybe as like the sort of
Yeah,
Oz
you might be
character.
right. Yeah.
I don't know why I know that. Anyway, I ain't seen it, but there's still time.
I'll tell you who there's not time for. The stormtrooper chases Lumpy. We're back to the show. And
No.
he chases Lumpy down the stairs and outside, and suddenly Chewbacca shows up.
Just in the nick of time.
Yep. And he taps, and then Chewbacca walks over to Lumpy. Doesn't pick him up or anything, but like
No.
walks over to him. And then Han taps the stormtrooper from behind, and the stormtrooper like turns around and drops his gun.
Yeah.
And then he lunges for it and falls off the balcony.
No,
And we get a Wilhelm spring.
Yeah.
So wait a minute. There's something
Legit.
really weird. I think Han like knocks the gun out of his hand.
I guess he does. Does he? I could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he and then he fakes like he's going to go for the gun, but doesn't.
Yeah.
And the stormtrooper
pump
goes,
fake.
and he's a little too exuberant.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's too top heavy.
Yeah, and he falls out, and it's really weird because in one sense you're like, oh, Han didn't just shoot the stormtrooper. You're like, no, that would be too
Yeah.
violent. And you're like,
Yeah.
sure.
Tricked him into killing
Yeah.
himself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, but he falls thousands of feet to his death.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he dies. He just doesn't get
which
shot.
is much
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
And then they spend like 5 minutes like talking about that dead stormtrooper
Yeah.
and how to like cover it up and stuff. You're like,
Yeah.
I'm watching like a holiday special and like I've already seen an old man like getting his rocks off to Diane Carroll and stuff. And now there's like an actual death.
Yeah.
Like almost at the hands of our hero and stuff.
Yeah.
This is, this is more than Charlie Brown just getting kind of blue about the holidays.
I thought they'd like hit the stormtrooper, over the head with a wiffle ball bat.
Yeah.
Boink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eh,
But then it gets weird too because Han Solo walks over and picks up Lumpy to hand to Chewie.
That's one of the
like,
weirdest
oh,
things I've
hey,
ever
this is
seen.
your kid.
Yeah.
Like hold him.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is really strange about that. You're like, why are
Mhm.
these
Yeah, and then
humans?
'cause-
They keep interfering, and like, I don't want to tie
Yeah.
up the line. Where's Chewbacca? It's just like,
Yeah.
oh, here's
Don't tell me how to use my phone.
yeah, and then it's also
woman.
like here's, Han Lumpy go. Yeah, Han takes Lumpy to his dad to chew at it. It's weird.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
And then when Han goes in, he's like, says hi to everybody. And then he's like, hey, Chewie, go see if the coast is clear. It's like, dude, this is my house.
I know,
You're a
yeah.
guest in my home. Quit barking orders at me.
Yeah. And then it's weird because after Han leaves, Chewie comes back in and he picks up his bowcaster. And it's really weird.
Slaughters
It's
his
like the
family.
first time he's seen his wife in however long. And the first thing he does is picks up his gun and kind of points it at her. Like he kind
Yeah.
of poses with it.
And then what the hell happens?
No one knows. No one knows.
Yeah,
This is where they
Finish
ran
your
out of money,
sentence.
by
I'm
the
sorry,
way.
Jerry.
Yeah, do you know?
So
do you
what?
know what I'm?
This is where they ran
Well,
out of money.
he looks.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
He looks at his wife, and it's like they
Mhm.
sniff each other with their Jacobson's organ. like a cat.
Really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that? They don't. You're
Yeah.
expecting them to kiss, and then you're like, oh, they're not
Or
going to
hug.
kiss because that might be a human thing. So maybe Wookiees don't kiss. Maybe they do something, but then they don't
Yeah.
do something. They don't. I don't get that sweet gratitude of relief.
No.
Right. They don't smell each other's butts or anything like you're expecting.
Yeah.
But maybe that's a traditional way Wookiees greet each other. Like maybe Han like really committed a faux pas when he's like picked up Lumpy and handed him to his dad.
It's
like
like
maybe he
they-
interrupted
Oh,
their
you touched me.
It's like they
There's reading.
sniff
unclean.
each other's breath or something.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's gross.
God, that sucks.
What sucks is then you look at the thing, you're like, oh my God, there's still 16 minutes left in this
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Is this
oh
thing
my
not
God.
over? You're killing me.
Well, then Art Carney shows up to try to help us make it through a little bit more. And he says he'll take care of the trooper and he
He sort of like makes up he says like the guy like ditched or something.
yeah, he says the guy he looted the house and then ran off into the woods. Or he ran
Yeah.
for the hills.
That was necessary.
Yep. And then he wishes everybody a happy life day and tells them, may the force be with you.
See, it's a true friend of the Alliance
Yep.
or member of the rebellion. I don't know what. Yeah.
And then the Wookiees walk over and they each pick up what appears to be a Sankara stone.
Oh,
As
wow.
they bring them together,
Right.
they all glow.
That's true.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
So do they know what they're doing? Is this something to
Yeah,
do
this
every
is like
year?
it's like their ritual, yeah.
Carol of the Bells or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is they're
Yeah.
decking the halls.
And then they literally ran out of money. Like there was no more budget. And they didn't have a set for the last part of the movie. So we cut to like a blue screen, like all these Wookiees walking across basically just like a field of stars.
Yeah.
And it is,
Into the light.
yeah.
Which is it's like if you've seen Poltergeist, you're like, oh, I guess they're all dead. They're going
Yeah.
Chewbacca and his family died, and so did all the other Wookiees, and they're going to heaven.
That's the
Yeah.
irony. It's Life Day.
Yeah.
That ends.
Yep.
Oh well.
Yeah. So then
We're
we
not
cut
done
to-
yet though.
Nope, we
It's
cut
not
to some
over.
more commercials.
It's
Although-
not over.
You do really notice like when they're walking, like you can see that these aren't like these are like consumer level costumes.
Yeah.
But yeah, then we get some commercials. We get the FTD bouquet, the FTD
Yeah.
messenger guy, and then
Sure.
for Jerry, the fruit of the loom.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really, really weird. See, once again,
with the hatch.
with the hat. Yeah. By the way, just for the record, I did try that. And I agree with you, Tommy. It's not, whatever way you do it, it's probably not as hard or as weird as you would think.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It all works.
I did
Well,
use
just
the
practice.
hat.
Whatever works for you.
And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, I'm still here. And it's only about 5 seconds later.
I can still look myself in the eye.
Yeah.
It's all right.
See, it's our own celebration of Life Day.
Hooray.
yeah.
Let's sing.
Hey, I have a question. Pete, what is woolite?
It's like a laundry detergent, but you can wash stuff in the sink with it. Like you don't.
It's very gentle.
Yeah,
Is that what it is?
yeah.
I think so.
And you
yeah.
could use it on carpets, right?
They make a carpet cleaner. I think it's different than their clothes cleaner, but I'm not sure.
We all learned something.
Yep. Then we get another Bell ad.
Yeah. About jogging
Yep.
somehow.
Yeah, 3 generations jogging in a race, and then we get no nonsense pantyhose.
Mm.
Yeah. And they get right on in there. They're like, yeah, you know exactly what they're talking about.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
look at this part.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
There's this part.
Yeah.
It breathes.
I feel
Yeah.
you. I feel
Yeah.
you. But they
you feel this.
they do it without. Yeah, yeah. Diane Carroll feels my excitement. I was kind of like, it's that was one of those you go, wait a minute, there's something that's going on
Oh.
here. Yeah, it's getting. I
Yeah.
can't figure it out, but
Yeah.
It's like, wait, I've never seen, blue fluid doesn't come out of people, but when they splash it all over those things in the commercials, I guess I get what's going on.
Fluid. Oh my gosh.
That's hilarious.
Ah, the show's back on.
Okay, yeah. Well, we get some nice,
Uh.
like a nice French horn, clarinet, strings, version of the medal ceremony music.
Yeah.
And then they've somehow come through this portal and they're like on a big stage, which is basically just a big sound stage with a curtain pulled down
Right.
and like a bunch of
Pay no
bad
attention.
costumes. But then everybody shows up, which I don't
Yeah.
understand. Like Luke's there, C-3PO and R2 are there, Princess Leia's there, Han Solo's there. Are they there in person, or is this like is Chewie dreaming this in the, like, are they hallucinating this?
Enough of this is so trippy and weird that that might as well be. Like, I mean, otherwise, did Luke and Han and everybody like pick up an orb and walk into the light in space or whatever?
Or did they all fly to like Kazook really fast?
I don't know.
I have no idea. Does this take place on that? Is this like,
I don't know.
Are they,
or is there teleportation in Star Wars?
But
Maybe.
you think,
or is there acid in Star Wars?
yeah.
3PO's got that incredible line where he's addressing everybody. For some reason, he gets to be on the stage with Chewbacca and he's addressing everybody. He's like, we really wish we were alive.
Yeah.
This is one of those times where me and R2 wish we were alive so we could appreciate this.
One of the worst, saddest things I've ever heard.
The exact line is, "It is indeed true that at times like this, R2 and I wish we were more than just mechanical beings and were really alive so that we could share your feelings with you."
Oh my God.
Why would you write
so
that
horrible.
in the children's holiday?
These kids have been through so much.
Yeah.
Show.
Just you don't. Why would you? It's like we can't really truly be happy ever. Even in the most joyous life day with all of our friends around.
Yeah.
I can't.
We're just aware enough to know that we can't appreciate this. We don't have the capacity to fully appreciate what's going on, but we know that we don't know and it's killing us.
Yes.
See, I think the answer lies in the earlier in this holiday special is that we feel uplifted by the comparison.
Yeah, psych, we're not robots.
Yeah.
I feel love, Tin Man.
So then, talking about feeling loved, we get Princess Leia shows up, still wearing the same costume, and she sings the Star Wars theme.
Yeah. Basically.
Just
sort of.
I'm going to be honest. People always say that she sings the Star Wars theme, and I never hear the Star Wars theme in this.
No, it's in there. No, she's
I believe you.
You don't have to. You can just believe me. I listened to it again this
Thank
morning
you.
over an Egg McMuffin, and it's Star Wars.
Yeah, it's
exactly it's a Christmas Carol of Star Wars.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I'm going to listen to it again until I get it. No, I'm not.
There's that one note that she can't hit too.
Oh God.
Like she's like tonight, and you can hear her going up to the note.
They cut to Han while she's singing, and he looks exactly the way I always felt in church. Like I'm trying to pay attention.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be serious, but please get me out of here.
Yeah.
I'm so uncomfortable, and I just want to leave.
It's as if it could not get weirder. The Star Wars theme has lyrics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Princess Leia sings it. Yeah, it's just
If they were really cool, the next movie they would have her singing over the opening credits of whatever next Star Wars movie there is.
This is as close as you could possibly come to the movie Star Wars.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
This is all you had.
It's amazing.
Yeah, do that or read your storybook or
incredible.
Go sit in the corner. Or just do what Chewbacca does and go into some like fugue state and just start imagining Star Wars, all your favorite scenes from Star Wars. Which all 7-year-olds did at the time. They would just kind of sit there and think about Star Wars.
Which is incredible. It's just like a Star Wars greatest hits. Like, remember, because you have to have the movie, but now you see it right before you go to sleep.
But that was the first time you ever saw it on TV. Like that, you got to see all these signs on your TV for the. But I just completely lost my train of thought. Damn it. Okay.
No, take a minute. I need to hear what was amazing. It's the only time in the
Wars,
show.
The closest you could get to Star Wars, Han Solo in church, Princess Leia singing, Chewie spaces out.
Yeah, basically,
Everybody's
this is
drunk.
the closest you can get to Star. It's only 8.
Okay. I'll put it there. Oh, so Jerry, you said something incredible. You said this is the closest you get to Star Wars. And I think that you could make an argument that this is literally out of every movie we've ever had, including Empire, this is the closest we have ever gotten to Star Wars, because this is the only one that was really made by George Lucas and contained all of the original actors.
Yeah, that's kind of true.
No, that was what I was saying. It's
Yeah.
like
It's like this is what comes next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so
Your cat.
I know the cat
I know
doesn't
your
like
cat's
how
going
this
nuts.
ends at all. The cat, like, it looks, I mean, Luke's suspect, because of the haircut, but it looks the most like Star Wars. Like, by the time they get to
Yeah.
Empire, it's great, but there's something upgraded about it.
Yeah,
Darth
it's not
Vader's
as
a little
pretty.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah, Darth Vader's different. Maybe there's more money involved. I don't know. It's just a different thing. This
Yeah.
really, when you see the characters, it's really Star Wars.
And it's still
This
the
is what it would look
1970s.
like.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what it would look like if Star Wars was the only movie.
Yeah.
But they still did stuff like this.
Wow.
yeah.
Yes.
Or something.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Or if they'd done Splinter of the Mind's Eye, I wonder if it'd be more
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
But yeah, then Chewie. Oh, before Chewie has his flashbacks, we get 3 more commercials. One's for twice as fresh air freshener, and one's for a guy drinking a crappy wine. But
Right.
the big
I
reveal
remember
here
that twice as fresh thing.
is the commercial for R2 and C-3PO come out, and they introduce the
Yeah.
new Kinner collection.
Yeah.
And you see
The
the
money
TIE
shots.
Fighter and X-Wing, and you get the Death Star and remote-controlled R2-D2.
Yeah.
What's
And the land speeder.
yeah.
That's amazing.
The only thing in this commercial I didn't have was the that remote control R2 and that whatever that electronic laser
I never heard
battle
of the
game is.
electronic laser battle.
Me neither.
There was always pictures. There were pictures of it on on the back
You're
of the
right,
other
yeah.
toys and stuff.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I guess I could get.
I was wondering, what did it? I wonder what the gameplay was like.
I don't know. Was it like
I bet
Battleship?
it had a lot to do with Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of lights that go beep, and if you go beep at the right time, you destroy the Death Star.
Yeah.
Right in if you had the electronic laser battle game.
Yep. And then we're right back in the action of,
Ugh.
and they're all sitting around the dinner table eating their Life Day meal.
Mm-hmm.
And they join their hands and lower their heads, and we've reached the end
Pray? I don't know.
of
They just don't talk to each other.
Yeah.
They can't
don't
quite
know.
look each other in the eye because they know what they've been through. They know what they've all done. Nobody looks at it.
That makes the
No
most
one wants to
sense.
hold hands with them.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. We that ever since every year since 1978, we've all been put into the holiday spirit by this beautiful 17-hour extravaganza.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh my God.
This episode has been longer than the holiday special itself.
No,
Oh
It's
yeah.
substantially longer.
Yeah.
Wow.
What does that say about us or anybody?
yeah.
Yeah.
Happy holidays.
I'm gonna
Happy holidays, jerks.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like Chewbacca and maybe remember like Raiders.
Yeah, let's
Like,
all
let's all,
bonk ourselves on the head
yeah.
like Chewbacca and just think about
And
Raiders.
dissociate, and yeah,
Think
we'll
about
just
Empire.
about happier
Yeah.
days on this podcast.
Yeah. Oh, this is nice. Oh, I remember when we found that tote scarecrow? That was great. Oh, that was so much fun.
Every time we had the Egyptologist on the show.
Oh, that was
Great.
nice.
Yeah.
Remember when Jer found that Belloc said, "and not with you," after he didn't have that drink, and the first time he'd ever heard it before?
That time I was
Yeah.
in Boston and got interrupted by a dog.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy Life Day and holidays.
It's more like scratch.